for a member of the Seattle community. Of course, Ryan Roland-Smith. If you guys have seen the article in the Seattle Times, they explain what happened. If you haven't read it yet, I'll summarize in 2 seconds. Just another host on another station tried to make Ryan Roland-Smith, Mariners broadcaster, the butt of a joke because of his accent. Before anyone says, like, oh, joking about Ryan having an Australian accent, whatever, this was not that. This was an attempt, in my opinion, in Bump's opinion, to make Ryan's opinions matter less or say that they're hard to take seriously because his voice isn't, quote, what baseball should sound like. So it's an opinion someone's perfectly entitled to have. I just think it's lame. I think, Bump, that it crossed a line. And the coolest part of baseball is that so many current and former players are from all over the place.
You know who I call when I have a baseball question?
I do.
The first person I call is Ryan Roland-Smith. I call my dude. I'm like, all right, what you think about this?
And that's a perfectly appropriate way to joke with a friend.
Exactly. This is what we do. Right? When I have O-line questions, I go to Big Ray. Like, there are some voices and some names in this community that are respected. And it's not just because of the position that they hold. It's because of the opinions that they have, the work that they put in. And Ryan is one of those guys. So, you're right. When I'm with my boys and we're in our group, we can say some foul stuff to each other.
Sure.
But we're talking to each other. It's our group. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody else better talk about my boys like that.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be some problems. And that's kind of the way I felt talking about him. I'm like, man, what you talking about, dog? So, big ups to our guy, Ryan. I sent him a nice little text. And if you could see what me and Ryan were saying, it'd be one of those, you can tell they're boys.
Private conversations.
Keep it nice and tight.
Yeah.
Keep it tight.
I also bristle in general at the idea of, this is who can talk about it and who can't. And the difference would be, especially when you try to target someone who, this is like mildly xenophobic, but I'm going to make a comparison to like being a woman. I am not offended anytime someone teases me about reality TV, teases me about, something that might be more stereotypically feel like I'm rarely offended. I do bristle when someone says, I hate hearing your voice. And it's one thing to say, oh, I had to get used to it. But when someone just for no reason dismisses your opinions, Ryan is infinitely more qualified than me. So here I am using just an analogy of like explaining what I think the difference is between joking about someone being different versus saying someone's opinion doesn't matter. Saying Ryan's opinion doesn't matter, or like he shouldn't be there, or he's only there because you can't get someone better is especially lame. Ryan is incredibly qualified and really smart and genuinely one of the nicest, coolest guys. And we're excited to have him on today.
Yep.
Less than an hour.
Let's get it.
I'm glad that you texted him and you guys had what I assume is a conversation I'd like to be a fly on the wall for.
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome.
All right. So, again, Ryan Roland-Smith joining us at 11. Let's get to this series win. Another one for the Mariners. Bump, this one against a team that I would have believed it if you were to tell me the Mariners are 5-1 on the road trip so far. They took 2 of 3 from the Padres and swept the White Sox. I'd be like, fantastic. That's awesome. Love to hear it. If you were to tell me, oh, they sweep the Padres, which they did, I'd be excited. I don't know why. Maybe it's unfair for me to be slightly disappointed that they struggled a little more against the White Sox, considering what they did against a better San Diego team. But I am. I got to be really honest with you. I am disappointed that they kind of had to really scratch and claw their way through at times.
You know what? I'm glad you're disappointed.
Good.
Because that tells me that you have expectations for this team now.
Yeah.
That tells me that you think the pitching is better than it probably should be with all the injuries that they have going on. It tells me that you think offensively this team is better than a 1-0 game or loss against the Chicago White Sox and having to rely on a bomb from Taveras in the 8th inning to get things done. Yeah. That's a good thing. Disappointment can be good because that means the bar is set a little higher than it used to be. But I'm just glad they got this win. But what's been most impressive to me this whole year is just how they've been playing on the road this year. They're 15-9 on the road. That's the second most wins in MLB. Now, there are a few other teams with 15 wins, right? Detroit has 16. They have 7 consecutive road series wins. The last road series loss was in April against San Francisco. We're talking about them performing on the road. Slugging, right? They have the 6th best slugging percentage, 421 on the road in MLB. Their on-base percentage on the road, 2nd best in MLB. OPS, surprise, surprise, 2nd best on the road in MLB. I just like the way these guys are taking their game and they're traveling and they're playing well. So I will take a 2-1 win. I'll take wins however I can. I'm an athlete, right? I've played in many games where we're supposed to beat this team and dominate. We beat them by a score, and I say, look, a win's a win. We got to fix some things, but I appreciate the win. But no, I think it's fair because this could have been or should have been a series that they swept. They should have swept the Chicago White Sox. But look, you get a win. You get 2-1 win. You're off to Houston right now. You're feeling good about this team, and you're winning in ways that we did not expect. You got 3 bombs that contributed to the win yesterday. That's not the way this team's supposed to win games. But Dan has said it. You said it. I heard Jerry say it the other day as well. They win in multiple ways, and if you want to be a good baseball team, that's what you have to do.
Like you said, yesterday it was with the long ball. They had, I believe, 7 hits as a team. Again, like Bump said, 3 of those home runs, 1 from Cal Raleigh.
The 3-2. Swung on, crushed, left field. It's back, it's deep, it's on its way, and it is gone. Goodbye, Cal Raleigh. Into the White Sox bullpen. He has smashed another. Number 16 on the season. It's a brand new ball game. It's tied 4-4 in the 6th. You can always count on Cal Raleigh to smash homers.
You sure can. Here's Dan Wilson on Cal.
He has, really matured as a hitter. I mean, he also up there, he's not only hitting the ball hard, but also, looking for his pitch, taking pitches that are out of the strike zone, not trying to do too much. A double early in a ball game, left-handed, and then hit that line drive homer, right-handed. I mean, he's locked in right now, and when he's contributing offensively, and then what he does for us behind the plate. That's a great effort from Cal. Again today, after a night game, a quick turnaround for him, but really nice job for Cal today.
Let's mention the 3 that had the home runs separately. First of all, with Cal, and I will admit this.
I was gonna ask you if I can talk about this.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to expose my truth. So when we were watching this game in the sports pit, we had to kind of hang around in case there was a rain delay, even though we weren't going to be on air. So we're all watching at work, and Cal had been up once and was coming up for his second AB. So as you guys know, that ended up being a double. And before he goes, I said, folks, emphasis on the L, folks, I fear Cal might be cooling off. And then he hit a double. And
let me paint it for you. So then we leave, right? We're like, okay, we get the okay to leave. I hop into my truck. I turn on the radio. I'm in my car first, and Stacy's walking to the parking lot. And I roll the window down. I go, hey, your boy just went yard. She goes, who, Cal? Cal just went yard.
I said, because he's hot. Because he's heating up. That's what I said.
Honestly, I want to give you the credit because you did what I do. So I go negative so the positive happens. That's what you did. You went negative so the positive happens. But Cal's just been the anchor of this team. I mean, he is the clear-cut leader. He is obviously his power numbers are ridiculous, and he's clutch, man. So Cal, we appreciate you. Keep it rolling, but you owe Stacy a thank you card because she got you rolling again.
I also liked seeing Tavares get that first home run as a Mariner. I know that he hadn't had the hottest start with the team. Initially, we were like, wow, this is a great addition. It's like Victor Robles-esque, like you scoop up someone who can end up helping you, but he didn't quite start as hot as Victor was able to with Seattle. So it was nice to see that for him. Also, more importantly, Julio getting a 3-run bomb, had already had a grand slam in this series. Ended up accounting for, God, I wrote it down and I misplaced my notes. I think he was like 2 of 12, but obviously 7 runs. Yep. 7 runs batted in, struck out once over the course of the series.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, speaking of Ryan Roland-Smith, he was on with us earlier this week on Tuesday and said, I feel like Julio getting hot is right around the corner, earlier than we're expecting for what we usually see from Julio.
Yeah, we had several guests on, and I think Ryan was the only one because I kind of set up that question. I'm like, hey, Shannon, what you seeing, man? Is it coming? And then I asked Bob the same thing. Hey, Bob, what are you seeing? Is it coming? And it's so hard for people to commit to Julio turning the corner. I think Ryan was the one who kind of committed the most because you know how this game is. You know that every day is a different type of battle. So to see Julio slowly get an uptick in his numbers, just take a step forward. My receiver coach at Washington State University, Coach Levin Selly, should tell me, man, you just get an inch better every day, and eventually those inches look like feet. Those feet look like yards. Those yards look like miles. And I'm hoping that's what's happening with Julio, and I think it is, man. The biggest thing for me is that he is not chasing as much. He doesn't seem like he's swinging for the fences every time. He's balanced, but he is still being aggressive. He is one of the most aggressive hitters out there when it comes to that first pitch, but his numbers are saying he's seeing that first pitch and doing some good things with it. So I'm happy for Julio. We need this to happen. Cal, you stay steady. Polanco, keep sprinkling it in. But if you get Julio to keep doing this thing, you should be good. And also, I wrote down a note that says, moments by the lessers. And I think that's what's happening with this team, too. You got Tavares, obviously, 8th inning, hitting that bomb, getting the win for these guys.
I mean, Rowdy getting on base prior to him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this road trip. You got Tellez in the 5th inning against San Diego hitting a bomb to tie that thing up. You got Rivas, who only has 49 at-bats, but is super productive. His OPS is at 679. You got Williamson defensively. He's been on point, and then he had a 3-game hit against the Sox in Game 1, was on base when Julio hit that grand slam. It's like, if you keep getting contributions from these guys and your stars are being stars, who knows? And guess what? Kirby's back, and we'll talk about him a bit later.
We absolutely will. Again, we're going to talk about him a bit in NFL headlines. 10:30 coming up in a little over 15 minutes, really where we're going to talk about what those expectations should be. We've got some sound from Jerry Dipoto from the Mariners pregame roundtable on George Kirby's return. So again, a little over 15 minutes from now, we'll dive into what it means to get Kirby back. How about just what it means to have this upcoming 4-game series against Houston? What are you watching for in this one? Is there a name? Is there a style of play you want to see? Is there an outcome?
I wouldn't say style, because I think that you do what's necessary to win. And we've seen this team, their style, their winning style as of late has been, all right, let's just hit some bombs. With me, it's all about George Kirby. I just want to see what he looks like. I want to see how healthy he is. I mean, he's going to be on a pitch count as he should, but can you step into this rotation and give some type of life? Because they've held it down for you so far. Emerson Hancock had a horrible first start, sent him down. He's back. He's been balling. Logan Evans could have folded the other day, right? Gets banged up early, but then after that, I think it was after the 2nd or 3rd inning, he tightens up a bit and the offense contributes and helps him out. The young guys have held it down for Logan Gilbert and George Kirby, waiting for their return. That's pretty much what I'm looking at, right? Can the pitching continue to do that, and can the bats continue to stay hot and be clutch and have your moments, man? They've had a lot of moments. Not consistent, but they've had some moments. And, it's all about just beating the Astros, man. I don't care how you beat the Astros. You can beat them down 11-0, I'm good. You can sneak one by, I'm good with that.
This is where you're right. This is where my expectations are like, just do whatever. Against the Padres, I did not expect them to win that series. I certainly did not expect them to sweep that series, so I was so pleasantly surprised. Against Chicago, against the White Sox, I expected them, even with lots of questions and injuries with their pitching, knowing they'd have a bullpen day, knowing you'd have Evans out there, I still expected a better series. And then against the Astros, I'm like, it is what it is. I don't care. Split the series. Take 3. Whatever you can do, I'm fine with it. This is when my expectations are out the window. This is when a 1-0 win is fine with me. This is when giving up, if Kirby were to give up 7, they won't let him give up 7 runs, but if you were to give up, 6, 7, 8 hits tonight, I'm like, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta get away.
Back.
Yeah. And this is, and how many times have we had guests on, Buster Olney, right? Plenty of local guests to talk about the American League and the AL West as a whole, that these are not the same Astros. Yes, there are plenty of names we're familiar with, but the Astros and the Rangers, while both favored obviously over Seattle entering the season, are also deeply flawed teams. There are there's more than one Achilles heel here. There are areas and points of weakness, right? Soft areas where you can poke this team.
I mean, they just lost a series to the Rays, right? And, things like that are going to happen. But
not to the Mariners.
Not on the road.
Can't relate to
not on the road. Definitely not on the road.
series.
But here's the thing about the Astros is that we've seen this before. Like the same way we look at the Mariners and people are reluctant to really jump on the bandwagon and say, here we go. It's because you've seen this before. You've seen them play good early and then kind of fizzle off towards the end or in the middle of the season and then try to make a run towards the end and you're a game short. We've seen this from the Astros. We've seen them come out slow, but then eventually get things going and make a push towards the end of the year. Oh, so my expectations for this series is just to be competitive. Like, no matter what, you could lose this series. I'm not anticipating that they do. I'm believing in what I'm seeing. But you could lose this series, and sometimes you just tip your cap and say, man, they were just hot. Sometimes you go up against an opponent where everything is working for them. They're executing. The pitching is on point, and then luck is on their side as well. A ball or two bounces their way, and you say, there's really nothing you can do about it. They were better on that day. So just be competitive, but I'm going into this series thinking they should win the series. As of right now, they are the better ball club.
Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
George Kirby will make his first start for the Mariners tonight since March 22nd. What's the real headline?
Kirby, your expectations for tonight.
I like it.
Because this guy hasn't had spring training.
Yep. No spring training. Haven't seen him since September against Houston. He had 19 quality starts in 2024. The Mariners right now are 15th in the league with 17 quality starts. That even might be too much to ask of him, to come out and give you a quality start. But I just want to see him look confident. I think that Kirby does a good job of remaining calm in any situation. He looks angry all the time anyway. So I just want the vibes to be good with Kirby on the mound. Just go out there, loosen up, get your timing back, get your feel back. In offense, this is where you come in and support your guy. He hasn't had any spring training. His first start is against the Astros. If there's any time for the offense to step up and support your pitcher, it is right now.
And again, Kirby is officially back, as Matt read. That roster move was this morning. We've got some sound from Jerry Dipoto on Kirby's return, and we'll talk more about those expectations, what we think we might see coming up in less than 15 minutes. What's next?
Headline rewrites.
The Pacers took the first game of the East Finals over the Knicks 138-135 in overtime last night. What's the real headline?
I apologize to the Pacers. I was not familiar with your game. I'm going to be so honest about this one.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people who weren't. And, teams like the Pacers and Cleveland and maybe even Minnesota to an extent, people don't really pay attention because they're not the big market type of teams. But the Pacers have been nasty all year. 61 points from Halliburton and Neesmith. Neesmith, 8 for 9 for 3, hit 5 consecutive at the end of that game. I know Halliburton hit the shot that everyone's talking about, but Neesmith was the dude who got things going. And Bronson dropped 43. Towns dropped 35, but it just wasn't enough. The Pacers, they are a deeper team. I think they had like 10 or 11 guys play over 10 to 15 minutes. You look at the Knicks, Thibodeau, the head coach for the Knicks, only had about 8 guys in rotation. You got Bronson, who got into foul trouble late. So what do you do at Bronson? You go at him because he has 5 fouls, and you know that the Knicks need him on the court. This took me back to the 90s, man. I remember being a kid in 1994, 93, watching the Knicks and the Pacers go at it. You got Halliburton with the Reggie Miller choke gesture that he made. He thought he won the game. I thought he won the game. I was at Moonshine Barbecue in Linwood watching this thing. It's a hockey bar.
Oh, I would have loved to watch that shot live.
We had the game going, and everyone is going nuts in there. It was awesome. We were all also watching the Dallas game.
I can't believe it went in.
Yeah. As soon as it popped up, though,
I was like,
Hoopers, no. That thing went straight up. I'm like, oh, it's got a chance. It's got a chance. Net. I'm happy for the Pacers, though.
So what are the Pacers' chances? Obviously, full disclosure, I care more about the team advancing that has the best chance to beat OKC. Like, that's ultimately just selfishly what I care about. And I guess I just assumed that team would be New York.
Well, this is the great thing about this playoffs is that it's the unknowns. The Knicks, first time in the Eastern Conference Finals since 2000. The Pacers, no one knew or cared about the Pacers. Timberwolves, Thunder, like it's the new school that's taken over. So since the Pacers have won that first game, I believe their chances of winning the whole series is 75%. If they win the second game, it's around 85%. Who knows, man? There's no resume for any of these teams. Like, you don't know if OKC has the pedigree to win a championship, or the Timberwolves, or the Knicks, or the Pacers. That's what I love about the playoffs so far. So who can take down the Thunder? I think anybody can. But I think the Wolves better get it done tonight, or I think the Thunder are going to win this series.
Ian.
I think the Pacers are a way deeper team. Tom Thibodeau has been pushing his Knicks guys. They play his starting 5 plays 40 minutes a game.
It's crazy.
They've got a 6-man rotation. So when it comes down to it, the Pacers have the guys off the bench that can push the Knicks way deeper. I think they also have a better chance against the the Thunder for that same reason.
Headline rewrites.
The proposed ban of the tush push did not receive enough votes at the NFL spring meeting yesterday. What's the real headline?
Deeply ironic that the tush push ban fell just short of getting it over the line.
I like it. The Eagles had 54 touchdowns last year. I want to say 10, 11, 12 of them things were attributed to the tush push, being down on the 1-yard line. I'm good with this. I was good either way, honestly, because the way that, the Packers who were kind of in the forefront of this, the way they reworded that whole situation made it to so that you can't assist a runner anywhere. And I think that was their best bet to trying to get the scene to get past. But they also seem a bit bitter at the same time. It's come on, man. This is football. This is part of football. I know some people are like, it's not rugby. Get rid of it. Yeah, football came from rugby. It's one of the last things that resemble old school football, and I'm okay with it. I guess I'm a traditionalist to some extent when it comes to this. just like everyone says, don't get to 31. Don't get to 4th and 1, and you won't have that issue. Or figure out a way to make this thing a bit more even. I think someone, or maybe it was me, who put out the idea of putting lights at both sides of the end zone. So once the light flashes, then both teams go. I don't know. I don't care. I was good either way, but I'm kind of happy that it didn't go through.
One of the most fascinating things about the tush push to me is just how one team has been able to do it so much more successfully than everyone else, despite the fact that everyone else has the, in theory, resources to be able to do that. You know what I mean? It's one thing if it's an unfair advantage and it's really not fair because this team is working with something no one else can, but that's not the case. So it's created this feeling of unfairness with something that is accessible to every single person.
Everybody can do it.
The ability to do it, the ability to draft offensive linemen to do that. But the Eagles have just separated themselves in that way. And you saw instances, whether it was Miami, a number of other teams trying it and failing to do it as effectively. It's fascinating.
Listen, there's a lot that goes into this, and you pointed it out. That personnel has to be on point. Like, the Eagles' offensive line is the biggest offensive line in the NFL from left tackle to right tackle. You have the strongest quarterback in the NFL when it comes to Jalen Hurts. You have the most explosive running back in the NFL when it comes to Saquon Barkley. Eventually, this will pass, right? This will pass. Guys will retire or get old and not have the power that they have on that O-line at quarterback spot. And someone else will devise a personnel group that will allow the tush push to be successful. But stop crying. Play football. They didn't win the Super Bowl because of the tush push. I promise you that.
I mean, they definitely got that far because of the tush push.
You eliminate the tush push, I think the Eagles still win the Super Bowl. They're still a great football team. Saquon Barkley ran for 5 million yards.
Eliminate the tush push, they're still a great football team. But, I mean, think of all the 3rd and 4th downs that they've converted, the touchdowns they converted.
Don't matter
to
me. That's such a small part of the game, though. How many plays... Of all the plays that they have, and you run about 65, 70 plays in a football game, right? Someone do the math.
Many of them?
Times it by 17.
Less than 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of what they do, but I think that they're just more talented than everybody else.
What should we really expect from George Kirby tonight? That's coming up next.
Kirby looks in, has a sign from Raleigh.
He's back.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for George Kirby.
Just in time as the first place Mariners start a 3-game set in Houston against an Astros team right on their heels.
Swing and a miss. He is dealing time.
Hear George Kirby's season debut tonight. First pitch at 5:10 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with some great news. I'm with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, you guys just increased your community coverage.
That's right, Brock. We like to say we're in your neighborhood. We have you covered here at IRG. We just added 2 fantastic locations. One is in Harbor Square in the Edmonds Bowl, and the other one is in the Mill Creek Town Center, right to the entrance to Mill Creek Town Center. So we'll be able to provide fantastic care to all of us and everybody's neighborhood.
You know I love it. Expert physical and hand therapy right in your neighborhood.
That's right. We're in your neighborhood. We want to be your neighborhood family physical therapist. We'll take care of you, your family, and your neighbor.
And remember, no referral needed, just personalized care when and where you need it. Visit IRGPT.com and schedule your appointment today. With over 40 convenient locations, IRG is right in your neighborhood, and now 2 new spots as well. That's IRGPT.com, IRGPT.com.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
What? All the budget has to be used now? And we can use all the media buy?
Javier's marketing firm just got its dream funding.
Okay, ideas. Bobbleheads? No. T-shirt cannon? I seriously need some help here.
He needs to find marketing managers who are worth every dollar.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Sponsoring a job on Indeed gives it a visibility boost, so you can hire faster. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot, 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 and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, George Kirby is back, officially activated from the injured list, going to be on the mound today. Bump, before I get to the sound from Jerry Dipoto from the Mariners pregame roundtable talking about Kirby's return, what are your expectations for tonight against the Astros? For Kirby, I should say.
For Kirby, man, just be healthy. Get through healthy. Slow ramp-up period. I know he's going to be ready to go. He didn't have a spring. He's had some bullpen action. I don't know where he did it. Maybe it was in Arizona or not. Who knows? But here's the thing about when you come back from injury, at least my experience coming back from injury. It's like, yeah, I've ran full speed. I put my foot in the ground. I broke a bone in my foot. I have a screw in my foot, right? So when I came back, I'm at practice, and they say, you're full go. You can get it. I'm like, all right, let's go. And naturally, I'm going 85%. I'm like, do I trust it? I still feel something there. I'm not 100%. Let me put my left foot in the ground and make a move. So I do that 10, 20 times. By the second or third practice, I'm 90% now. I'm like, okay, I can get it. And then there are some routes that I'm running that I don't really trust yet. So I would assume that with George Kirby, he's got to go out there and adrenaline's going to be up, and he's got to throw that heater 1 or 2 times that make it hit 94, 95, and then reassure himself, okay, I'm good to go. I can get this. Or maybe he's just one of those guys who don't think about that and goes out there and just lets it go. Who knows? I know guys like that. Me personally, I was the dude who had to kind of slowly get into the game and kind of feel this. So what I want to see from Kirby is just confidence, that he knows and he feels that he's 100%. There's no pitch that he can't throw. There's no spot that he can't hit. And the aura is back and just pouring out of him, and the team feels it. I would love for them to win this ball game, but I think this is about the future of this team. And the future lies in Kirby, Gilbert, and everyone in between, because we know that pitching is what is going to win you some ball games, especially when we get into the playoffs. So expectations for Kirby, 75, 80 pitches. I was looking at his pitch count towards the end of the season. He was going 96, 85, 85, 97, 85, 96, 97. We don't need all that. 75, 80, okay? Cal, take care of him. And just get out this thing healthy and get your confidence.
Here's Jerry DiPoto on the Mariners pregame roundtable.
George, we've missed him. Like we've missed Logan, as we've missed Bryce. And I don't, I was sitting up in the box for watching last night's game, and it's been remarkable what our team has been able to do, especially in light of the injuries we've had to deal with. And when you lose 3 starting pitchers, that's going to hurt any team. When you lose 3 starting pitchers who could legitimately have been counted as Cy Young candidates when the season started, and you've still been able to manage to do what our team has done, kudos to the more than 26 guys that have contributed to making it happen, and to a coaching staff that has really been incredibly positive and supportive through really from day one. And the environment, the culture, the vibe around our team is just awesome.
It's remarkable what we've done with our injuries. That's what Jerry DiPoto says. Bump, how impressive is it that the Mariners have managed to still perform, to get these series wins, to be leading the AL West, be now 7 games over 500 with these injuries?
Let's go back to spring training when we heard that Brash is going to be shut down for a little bit. When we heard that Kirby was going to be shut down for a little bit, we go into the season thinking, all right, just hold on tight. Ben Robles gets jacked up, making a heck of a play. I forget what city it was in, but a heck of a play, going up, grabbing the rock, running into the net, athletic play. Then you hear about Randy. Oh, dang, that hamstring is tight a little bit. Then you hear about Polanco. Oh, man, you got to make sure that, he's able to make it through the whole season. We went from, at the beginning of the season, thinking, all right, this pitching staff is going to have to hold it down, and we'll see what happens, to, all right, man, then you start, 3-7 to start the season, and all the doubts that you had about this team going into the season are just amplified. So the fact that they were able to turn this corner, not have all their guys in a rotation, not have all their guys in lineup. Let's not forget Luke as well, Luke Raley being banged up.
Massive.
It's like, how are they even here? They're here because they've been able to be a power-hitting team and get timely hits and contributions from everybody else. It's extremely impressive because they're not even at full go right now. They don't have all their dogs in the fight. So the fact that they're able to be where they are, top of the division, 7 games over 500, I believe, plus 27 when it comes to run differential. You're one of the best power-hitting teams in the game right now, especially on the road. I think it's not what I expected. With the start that they had, with the injuries that happened to them throughout the season and before the season, I'm thinking, all right, man, we're going to be looking up at the Rangers and the Astros trying to chase these guys. So, yeah, progress report card, they are way ahead of schedule. I did not expect this. Still a lot to do, but for them to even be in this position, I think, is remarkable. And who do you give the credit to? I think give it to the players for doing their thing, but I also think that you got to look upstairs and give those guys a pat on the back, all right, because we were very critical of them, and we still might be towards the end of the year, but they put together a team that works, and they put together the right leadership as well. When we talk about Dan and Seitzer and Edgar and everyone involved, Young at first base, like there's been a lot of movement there as well. So it's just sometimes you ever make a dish that
I'm a supreme chef.
That makes no sense, but it comes out and it's like, damn, this is kind of bomb. Like I don't know how all these ingredients got together, but
and
this is all I had.
And then you can't ever replicate it again.
You can never replicate it
again. You'll never make it again.
You never make it again. So let's keep this dish together for the whole year.
Most important ingredients of this one has to be Cal Raleigh and Jorge Polanco especially, and I think that I didn't have expectations that this team would be able to withstand those injuries because I didn't have these expectations for Jorge Polanco.
Right.
Obviously, he will cool, but I've been pleasantly surprised to see that Polanco and that certainly Cal has continued this now into May 22nd. May 22nd, we're talking about Cal just hit his 16th home run of the year, tied for Aaron Judge for first place. I mean, I expected Cal to cool sooner. I expected Jorge to cool sooner. So when I'm talking about my expectations for George Kirby, I think I'm still looking at those two, and I'm still looking at the lineup going, you guys have to keep doing as much as you can to make up for question marks with the pitching staff that we didn't anticipate.
Yeah, it shows. I mean, I wouldn't say this team has depth, right? But I would say that this team has showed that they have multiple guys on this roster who are capable of leading the charge at some point. You know, like I always look at, I'm going to go into basketball, right? You look at the teams with their superstars. You can have all the superstars you want, but at some point, that guy coming off the bench, and it might only happen 2 times throughout the playoffs. He's going to come off the bench and drop the most crucial 12 points you've ever seen in your life. And it might slip through the cracks and people not recognize it. That's kind of the way I look at this team. Like, you look at everyone on their roster, the guys that we see day in and day out, everybody has had some type of moment on this team. So I think that is what's important, and that's what's kind of keeping these guys going. And then just the young guys. You hate having to depend on young guys, but you had to depend on Emerson. You had to depend on Logan to kind of hold it down. So it's the fact that they're outperforming expectations. The younger guys. Your dogs got to be your dogs. Julio, keep ascending, keep doing your thing. Cal, keep doing your thing. Polanco is now a guy. He's a guy that we didn't expect much from, but he's established himself. So it's the roles that are being played or that are being filled. It works. Your dogs are your dogs, and the contributors are contributing, but you don't expect them to do it day in and day out. It's like you just throwing against double dutch. Next guy in, boom, 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 boom. Let me contribute. I'm out. Next guy in, boom, boom.
Well,
I'm out.
And within that, right? Like, I mean, you look at the coaching staff, you look at maybe particularly Kevin Seitzer and Edgar Martinez, and you go, look, if we're going to be going, you guys have managed to get these guys ready. I know that you mentioned 2 pitchers that have had to come in, but Ben Williamson, another one of those guys. That if we're looking at the offense going, hey, you guys had to get these guys ready, then credit whatever they're doing.
Whatever they're doing. I wish we knew.
Well, I've heard that I haven't heard specific things about Kevin Seitzer other than really well-respected and well-liked. Obviously, have heard lots of things about Edgar because he's Edgar, and he's the first guy people are going to talk about, even if he's just part of the equation. And I have heard that just Julio deeply respects everything he says.
Yeah.
And I wondered, upon hearing that, whether the influence Edgar has is telling Julio, instead of like magically uncorking something, to be like, don't change that, just keep doing that, and that Julio actually listens.
Yeah. I would assume that, and I think it's a fair assumption because we've heard this about Edgar, it's just about feel. It's just talking baseball. There's no data. There's no angles. There's no weight distribution. It's, all right, well, this is what you're supposed to feel because every swing is different, right? You can try to mimic Griffey's swing or whoever you grew up watching. You're never going to be a carbon copy of that swing. And I think Edgar is more of a feel type of guy, and it seems to be working with this team. So get your data and all that good stuff, but what are you supposed to feel? I think that's kind of been the thing pushing these guys forward.
All right, we'll talk more about what we're watching for from George Kirby tonight when Ryan Roland-Smith joins us at 11. That's about 20 minutes from now. Before then, Bump's got 3 things grinding his gears for Get Off My Lawn coming your way next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
The Olympics used to be a huge deal. I think it still is. I was listening to Ryan Roland-Smith talking about playing for your country. I think that that's a big deal in almost any sport except for the NFL.
I don't want any of my starters out there.
Why risk anyone over a fake game of football?
Yeah.
That's what the players who don't make it are for.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. So one of my favorite customers I've ever had, he came in and had a really bad experience with several different dealerships. He just lost his husband. His husband left him with a truck, and he was like, I don't need a truck. Like, this is so impractical for me. And it was a really emotional decision for him because it was one of the last things that he had, obviously husbands. We were like, it's no problem. Like, we're going to help you. And we did the process the same way that we always do the process. And we helped him trade in his truck for a beautiful new Rogue. And that was really cool. And he bought his second car from us. And I'm sure when he needs a third car, he'll come back and buy his third car from Nissan too. afterwards to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff.
Making a great day for the people around you is making a great day for yourself. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Upgrade your home cooling before the summer heat with Home Comfort Alliance and save up to $6,000 while taking 18 months to pay with 0 interest. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com. That's HomeComfortAlliance.com.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new roof replacement. Book a free estimate online, and when you meet with Brandon, that's Don's son, tell him you heard the message on the radio station. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. It's Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with available financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
from the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Talking baseball with Ryan Roland-Smith in about 15 minutes before we get to it. Normally this is on a Wednesday. We did not have a Wednesday show because the Mariners had a matinee series finale against the White Sox, took that series. So instead we're having it today. So again, normally Wednesday at 10:45. Bump's got 3 things grinding his gears that in your old age is making you say, get off my lawn. So what do you got today?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
All right, let's do it. First one. You know, my buddy Kieran asked me yesterday, he goes, are you going to do get off my lawn? Like, you guys didn't do it on Wednesday. I go, all right, well, we'll talk to the powers that be and see if we get it done. So this one's for you. All right, but not this one specifically. This first one is, you know, I love that I don't know what they're called. There's a bunch of companies out there where you can rent scooters and rent bikes and stuff. And you know, there's a few companies who are doing it. And I think they're cool because there are times where maybe I'm leaving a game and I didn't drive. And I got to get back to maybe the radio station. I was hop on a scooter and dip for 10, 15 minutes,
They
right?
scare me, but yeah.
And get there. Or a bike. And I like that stuff. But you got to be responsible with that type of stuff, okay? There's a guy the other morning who's on one of those rented bikes, one of those green ones you guys see around, and he's just in the middle of the road just coasting. I'm talking about holding up traffic, coasting, and he didn't have a helmet on. I'm like, listen, the only bikers that I'm like, okay, all right, this is what you do. You're a serious biker. You got the little tight fit on. You got your helmet on. You got your glasses on. You do this for real. And you understand, like, look, I'm going to get into the middle of the lane, and then I'm going to get to the side and let the cars get by. Responsible biker.
Yeah.
This guy was an irresponsible biker, okay? Unless you have the whole fit on, okay? I'm not going to take you seriously. I'm going to think, look, he's just trying to get to A to B. If you're trying to get to A to B, make sure you hop in the lane and then you get out, because I understand the sidewalks are crazy. I'm not saying all this. Sometimes there's no bike lanes, but be responsible. My guy was riding a green bike with no helmets, a flannel on. I'm like, where are you going at 8:30 in the morning?
And he's holding up traffic?
And you're holding up traffic on East Lake. It's a lot of people trying to do things. East Lake is already jacked up because all of the bumps and stuff are doing construction and all that. And now you're slowing down traffic even more. Listen, young man, I'm not knocking your hustle. Get to where you're supposed to be. But you got to be responsible when you're on those bikes, okay? Middle of the lane, and then you get to the side as soon as you can. Let the cars go by. I didn't buy my truck to go 15 miles an hour on the boulevard, okay? So, look, just be responsible with that. And then at night, too, my buddy, he was on one night, got on a scooter, wobble, boom, he falls, scratches his face up. Just be responsible with the scooters and the bikes, please.
See, I love that you're doing this from a place of love and support and wanting to be to have people be safe.
Just be safe.
I know that there's this part of you that wants to scream, if you don't get out of my way.
Oh, you know I said it.
No, I know. Like, bicyclists, though, they need to be like, when you're at that point holding up lines of cars, stop being so entitled to the road. I know that you're like, well, I'm like a car because I'm a bike. Just let people pass you if they have places to be, and if, you know what I mean? No one's speeding. A car going 20 miles per hour, 25 miles per hour is not speeding. It's just that you're not going that fast. Pull over and let people pass you. I think it's so rude.
It's legal, but there are a lot of things that are legal that you probably just shouldn't do anyway. That's one of them.
Okay, what's next?
All right. Hit me with it. Thank you, sir. There you go. Matthew, get your boy, man. Get your boy.
I'm yelling at him. Don't worry.
I was messing with you. So when I played sports, I was never like a big celebrator. I was never, until the end of the game, like I wasn't a big celebrator. And even end of the game, I didn't go that hard because I'm like, things happen or whatnot. And I've loved watching the Knicks fans celebrate getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's been, you would have thought they won a Super Bowl. But the first thing I thought about when that game went down yesterday was like, oh, you Knicks fans. Oh, you Knicks fans. I hope you guys can celebrate, but this might calm you down just a little bit because there's a 7-game series and the Pacers are on point. I remember the one time I talked a lot of crap. It was one game and it brought me back to reality. I was playing against USC. They were number 3 in the country, and I was getting them. And we get to the end of the game, and me and this DB have been going back and forth. He's making plays. I'm making plays. We're going back and forth. And we have the ball to win the game. We come up just a little short. And the first thing he does is run to me. Hey, you little, what's up now? And I looked at him. I said, yeah. You got us.
Oh,
you
no.
right. So that's why I don't talk a lot of crap, because I'm like, you never know what's going to happen. Like, I'll smile at you and nod my head, but nothing crazy like what the New York Knicks fans are doing, which I love their celebrations. They're so entertaining, but I hope that this little mishap you had in game 1 kind of humbles you just a little bit, brings it back down, and you say, you know what? let's celebrate when we're up 3-1 or when it's actually clinched. Like, you can have fun. It's all about emotions. But the first thing I thought about were all those clips that I saw after they got to the Eastern Conference Finals and was like, man, where are they now? What are they doing? So kids, celebrate, have fun, but just know sometimes it's going to bite you in the butt.
None of them are radio friendly, but they're so funny. I love the Knicks. Is it Side Talk celebration? So good. What was your best line from a loss? Do you remember?
From like a game that we lost?
A game that you lost, but when you balled out. Do you remember what you did?
Oh, I was still eating.
So we're talking over 100, maybe 2 touchdowns,
yeah,
something like that.
over 100. It's thankfully every time we played SC, I did my thing.
Okay. What's next?
All right, last one.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Man, we there's so many different types of people in this world and in sports, and I love that. I love going into a football locker room, meeting a guy from Texas, a guy from the East Coast, Midwest, West Coast, all that stuff. It's great. But I hate when people try to put sports and people in a box, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk, say baseball, for instance. You know, baseball is an international sport. Right? The Japanese play baseball. The Canadians play baseball. We saw Israel bring a team to the Olympics and do their thing. Italy plays baseball. Baseball doesn't look like one thing. The Dominicans dominate baseball. Mm-hmm. Baseball doesn't look like one thing. So why would we try to put voices in a box when it comes to sports, right? I can get analysis from a guy from Japan, a guy from Australia, a guy from England, a guy from Africa. Just because they're not American doesn't mean that they don't know the game. Let's talk about football, for example, right? We have a British defensive coordinator in the NFL for the Seahawks right now. Football doesn't look like just one thing. Let's talk about soccer. One of the best American players of all time is Clint Dempsey, and he is over in England doing analysis for FIFA and in English Premier League. Let's talk about there's a black NHL analyst. I forgot his name, but he doesn't look and sound like what the game used to be. So I just want to put it out there, man. Just because it's not what it was 100 years ago, 50 years ago, right? That person or that player doesn't talk, that analyst doesn't talk or look or act the way that they did back then, doesn't mean they don't know their stuff. I know a lot of dudes who didn't even play football, who know football. No, you never played it. Mm-mm. You know the game of football. So this is more just stop the hate, man. Like, there's so many different ways to live this life and to view the game. Like, appreciate different views. You don't have to necessarily agree with what they're saying. But just because you don't agree doesn't mean that they're not coming from a place of knowledge. I don't care what they look like, what they sound like, where they're from, who they're married to. That doesn't matter. Do they put in the work to know the game? You put in the work, I respect you. If you are a hater because someone doesn't look or sound or behave the way that you're used to it and makes you uncomfortable, stop hating and get off my lawn, man. Come on. And PK Subban, I think, is what the guy was from the NHL, black dude.
All right, 4 Down Territory coming up at 11:15. Before we get to that, Ryan Roland-Smith joins us next.
Kirby looks in, has a sign from Raleigh.
He's back.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for George Kirby.
Just in time as the first place Mariners start a 3-game set in Houston against an Astros team right on their heels.
Swing and a miss. He is dealing time.
Hear George Kirby's season debut tonight. First pitch at 5:10 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
We at Three Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. Three Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hey 12, Steve Rabel here, voice of your Seattle Seahawks. The wait is over, and tickets are on sale now for our historic 50th season. This season is going to be legendary, with past, present, and future colliding at Lumen Field. Get your tickets today at Seahawks.com/tickets.
Hey, it's Ryan Roland-Smith for Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. I dropped 30 pounds, and honestly, I feel amazing, and it has been so easy to keep off. But I didn't want to just lose weight. I wanted to be in the best shape of my life. Look, I'm in way better shape than what I was even when I was playing. I've lost all that visceral fat, which is super crucial long term, and now I'm sleeping better. I've got way more energy, and I'm actually maintaining the results. I'm not guessing anymore when it comes to diet. I finally understand my body. The meals are simple, I'm never hungry, and they fit into my lifestyle. And yeah, now that I've dropped the body fat, I can still enjoy an Aussie meat pie on the weekend, and I'm not stressed about it. After speaking with Dr. Coogan, it all made perfect sense. Yes, it was going to take some discipline, but trust me, the results were well worth it. So if you're ready to take control and feel like your best self, go to eastsideweightlossklinik.com and book a 15-minute consultation. It changed everything for me, and it can for you too.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, DC. Results may vary.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
George Kirby has been reinstated from the 15-day injured list. He's expected to start tonight's game in Houston. The Mariners are 5-1 on the road trip so far. This is a 4-game series against the Astros. Again, first game tonight, 5:10 p.m. Pre-game show starts at 4 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports.
Joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline, Mariners broadcaster Ryan Roland-Smith. Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
What's up, guys? How you doing? I love that song. I don't know if you can understand it, but I love it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
We wanted to start out just asking you about what's been kind of a weird week. We have lots of baseball conversation to get to, rightfully so, and we can't wait to do it. But we did just want to ask, hey, what's this week been like? Kind of a weird one.
Yeah, it has. No, it definitely has. And look, I want to make this clear. First of all, this is the first time I've had a chance to publicly say, first of all, thank you. I think this is to all the Mariners community out there. Like, I love you guys. I mean, just the overwhelming support, and it kind of just opened up other people's opinions. And so it's been really nice to watch. Again, I will say this. I don't need an apology. I'm not a victim here at all. I should be making an apology to someone else, to be honest with you, after the what happened. But one thing I will say, Luke Arkins, man, that guy, I lean on some of his information for the broadcast. I'll give you an idea, give you an example. A week ago, there was a Julio stat he put up, and I used that on the broadcast. Maybe I should have credited him then. But Luke, he's brilliant. I know he's been through a lot in the last year. He's a big part of the Mariners community. So if anyone has a shot at him, man, not on. But with me, hey, you got to do better than the accent, let me tell you. So it's been, honestly, it's been pretty funny the last couple of days, just looking at all the stuff. I'm so happy I'm here in this Mariners community, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Right? It's funny. I remember people used to make fun of my last name as a kid. And I'm like, come on, do better. I've been dealing with this for 39 of them things. But on a baseball, man, yesterday was fun to watch. And it was fun for me because I'm starting to believe this team is never out the game. Like they're never out of it, right? The pitching might struggle early, and they lock it down. Then somehow, some way, you are producing runs. But my focus has always been Julio, just waiting for him to come around. And then only 2 hits in this series, 7 RBIs, but 2 crucial hits. Is there something else that you need to see, or do you feel like the way that they're playing is good enough to keep stacking on these wins and separating themselves from the pack?
Nothing really else I need to see. I'm not saying it's perfect. Obviously, there's times where the offense can fall flat, or a situation where if you don't jump on the starting pitcher early, which they have when they've had success, that's kind of been the situation. Then all of a sudden they can kind of fall a little bit flat, and the starting pitcher can fall into a little bit of a pattern, even when they've been going through this hot stretch of offense. A couple of things that stand out to me that do really well. Number one, yesterday, Shane Smith, he was pretty nasty, man. He was filthy. He had that changeup. He got in a groove. And I said that in the first inning, that you kind of have to jump on this guy early. They jumped on the 3 runs because he kind of shut him down. He really did. But the one thing this offense does when they're going well, the at-bat number 3, at-bat number 4, they're literally top 3 in so many different categories. Like, in other words, you're talking about, when things are going well, swing and misses down, the on-base percentage against the back end of a bullpen is through the roof. The quality of contact is through the roof when you got plus stuff, because you're going to get that guy throwing 98 with that, that split or that slider or whatever it may be. But we didn't see that in the homestand. I keep going back to the homestand as using as an example. When they faced the Blue Jays and when they faced the Yankees, and there was just nothing doing offensively, it was late in the game. They got shut down late in the game. And when things are going well, they're able to have those type of at-bats, which really puts guys on the ropes late in games. So that's a big thing. But just back to Julio, man, there's so many things that are so positive about what we're seeing from him right now. I know he jumped on that first pitch against Cam Boozer in the first game against the White Sox, and he's swinging at, I think it's 54% right now, which is number 2 in baseball swing percentage on the first pitch. You go back to this time last year, the big thing with him was he's got to be more patient. He's got to have more discipline, because that then turns into less swing and miss late in the count. But I think with Julio, man, he said this to Brad Adams just the other night. He said, I'm going up, ready to swing the minute I leave the dugout. I'm geared up. I want to see a pitch. I don't want the guy to get into a rhythm in the at-bat. I don't want to see him with 2 strikes. Hey, keep it going. And what's going to happen is the guys are going to try and spin a breaking ball first pitch. He's going to spin on it, and guess what? He's going to be in better counts. So I think watching him jump on first pitches the way he is, have at it, man. If that's where you feel comfortable, go for it. And I feel like he's just, again, I keep saying this, right on the verge of just absolutely exploding offensively.
We are going to see George Kirby tonight against Houston. Ryan, have you and the other broadcasters heard anything from Dan, Jerry, or Justin about how much we could see from George, or what their plan is? If not, what would you anticipate?
I would say nothing set in stone. I do know it's around 70 to 80 pitches with him out the gates. And I feel like, sort of judging off that they'll, move forward. I do feel like they are going to try and do, more of the, the 6-man or give him the extra days in between when they can. I know there's an off day coming up. I haven't looked at the schedule, but I do anticipate making sure, especially coming back from a shoulder. It was pretty significant too when you think about how much time he's missed. I do feel like there is going to be those times where you're going to give him the extra days. However, you are going to get him up to 90, 95 to 100 pitches, and then you're going to have a situation where, 3 or 4 starts down the line, he may only throw 80, for example. Kind of like we saw with Brian Wood last year. But I think for tonight, it's going to be around 70 to 80 pitches. But I can't wait. What a perfect time for him to come back in this rotation. I've said this to you guys. I've said this a bunch. This team, when you look back in the month of October, when they're in the playoffs, you're going to look back at the season and say the foundation was the pitching. I know we're loving this offense. It's so much fun to watch. And I want Julio to go and hit 45 bombs and all that. But I still look at this and say that the starting pitching, especially the second half of this season, they're in a great spot right now, but second half of the season, it's going to be the starting pitching, and it's going to start tonight, I think, with George Kirby.
Hey, when you look at Logan Evans' final stats, right? 6 hits, 4 earned, 3 bombs, but 7 K is a career high for him. How was he able to kind of bounce back from that rough start? Because it was rough to start, and then he kind of locked it back in, found his groove, and obviously was supported by the offense. What did you see out of Logan?
Yeah, I think he gave up the 2 home runs. And look, I'm not going to lie, man. Like early on in my career, it's you kind of go into a start, especially when you're young. When you're older, it's a little bit different. But when you're young, you kind of go into a start, and you in your head, you kind of play out what a good day looks like, and you also play out, oh God, what if this happens, right? So you have these 2 scenarios where, I give up some hard contact early. I get, Dan Wilson's coming out in the 4th inning to take me out. Or on the flip side, you come out and go, I'm glanced up and seeing zeros up on the board, and I'm going 7 and tipping my cap or high-fiving. So you have these 2 scenarios. But what happens is you get to a situation where you are essentially cruising, bit of hard contact, whatever, but you're cutting through these innings. All your pitches are moving all over the place, which they are. Then you give up the 2 home runs, and all of a sudden there was a lot of hard contact in that inning. And not to mention the fact that the other team's got all this momentum. And you come back out for that 5th, he throws 12 pitches, and then he throws 9 to finish off the 6th. I'm just telling you, man, like from a young pitcher standpoint, that you got to hone in on those things. If you're Logan Evans, he's got to leave the game saying, I gave up a 4 spot, I gave up 2 home runs in the 1 inning, gave up 3 bombs in total. But man, I was able to get through 6 and limit the damage. Oh, and by the way, I'm bouncing off the start against the Padres where I went 6 and dominated against one of the best offenses in baseball. So there's a lot of good things to take from this game. Yes, there's some hard contact. I feel like with him, we said this with Emerson Hancock as well. He has that big sweeper as his 2-strike, weapon, especially against righties. The sweeper, unless you have just an absolute dynamite sweeper, it's one of these pitches that can get you into trouble in regards to hard contact, because it's a pitcher you can pick up spin quick, as opposed to a split, as opposed to a more of a depth slider. So that pitch is a little inconsistent from him at times. We saw that, and we saw that against Texas Rangers too a couple of days ago. But man, it's coming out in that 5th inning, 6th inning. I was trying to emphasize that during the game, because it's fun to watch when a young pitcher can do that. It's always good stuff, like when you see that.
Going to Cal Raleigh, I can't believe he was able to get that home run. Just the placement of it was absolutely crazy. Yeah. How have you seen him continue to, it could be just this season, continuing from last season, evolve as a hitter? Because this is just an unreal start for him, and he hasn't really cooled yet. I was absolutely expecting him to cool by now. Yeah,
me too. Not saying he was going to just completely level off, but there is still that element with him, and this is why, right? But there's still that element of him in regards to swing and miss, where the swing and miss is it's still high. Like there's no way around that with Cal. However, the patience he has, and I always look at hitters, how would I approach him? The patience he has, and in at bats, especially early, there's always a pitch where it's kind of like that breaking point. For him, when he's hitting from the left side, when they try and go breaking ball down and in, and you get that big swing and miss over it, there's times where he does that. When you, and Shane Smith tried to get him with that pitch in one of the at-bats, the other day, yesterday. But you throw that big breaking ball down and in, and he's able just to lay off it. And then all of a sudden, then you go to second guess and say, hold on a minute, now I have to attack him another way. So I think with Cal, he's so patient early on in at-bats against a starting pitcher that it doesn't really allow you to just absolutely dominate one part of the strike zone or one pitch. Like you see Luis Robert, right? Now, that's a glaring example because he's super talented, but he's struggling. What do? I mean, anyone can see. You can be sitting back in the bleachers at right field and know that they're just going to absolutely work you down and away with anything secondary, and you are going to swing over it, and there's just this gaping hole. With Cal, there's really not this gaping hole where it's a consistent pattern from him. So that's the one thing. I think the patience from him and the on-base and the quality of at-bats completely outweighs any of the swing and miss issues you have. And by the way, too, he's showing power from both sides of the plate. I know he did that last year, but it's hard to keep that rate up, and he's doing it. It's really hard to keep up, for a long stretch of time, and sure enough, he's doing that. So he's been super impressive, one of the best players in the game, one of the most valuable players in the game. So it's been fun to watch.
Watching relief pitchers come out and do their thing and just the mental, it's completely different, right? And there's a guy on this roster in the bullpen that I knew nothing about before this season, and now when he gets on the mound, I'm thinking, all right, let's get it. And it's Vargas, and I'm so confident when he's out there. How has he been able to kind of step into that role and have the success that he's having?
I mean, I need to ask him, like, hey, man, how do you go from being in a situation where, you're DFA'd a couple times, you're a waiver claim, you're this, you're that, and you come in to the Mariners and they look at him as essentially being like a depth piece if he can, because you bring him into spring training, he's out options, which he was, and it's like, okay, put him on the roster because we saw enough in spring training out of him to not lose him via claim. Like, in other words, put it this way, if he had a situation where he was in spring training and the stuff wasn't there or the results weren't there, the Mariners would have been like, you know what, hey, let's just DFA him and put him in AAA as depth. That was kind of, I'm not saying that was a plan, but you read between the lines. But he goes out in spring training, it's like, man, we can't afford to lose him because someone's going to claim him because his stuff is that good. And then the Mariners said, you know what, okay, let's have him in the bullpen and give him a short leash, see how he goes for the first couple of weeks. And there was so much turnover early on with, from the starting pitching and the bullpen. Man, he survived all that, and now all of a sudden, here he is, getting Tatis with that 97 with sink down and in to ground out to get out of the eighth inning. And then, we saw it last couple of days. And by the way, not to mention, he's not rocking up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon saying, hey, I need a day after I've thrown an inning in a third, whatever. He's good to go every day. And so I love these stories, man, where guys come from nowhere, and the Mariners do way better job than anyone at this. Casey Legamine is another example, and we can go on and on about, Sewell, Trent Thornton, Justin Topper, all these names. But they identify and say, look, you have got elite this, so you are just going to use this. This other stuff you're trying to figure out how to get hitters out in multiple ways, that's just a waste of time. Let's just hone in on this. And they've done that, man. And he's been brilliant. It's been fun to watch, and here he is. Getting in all these high-leverage situations, so I'm happy for him.
Last question before we let you get going here, jumping right back into another series tonight against the Houston Astros. I like that we had so much positive stuff, and I love that we have so much positive to talk about the Mariners so far this year, again, in first place and looking to take on a division rival here. That being said, Ryan, what do you find is your lingering question about this club as we kind of cycle through the end of May?
Yeah, good question. I still feel like the one thing that you're looking at is, well, I'm a little biased on this because we haven't had an off day. But watching kind of the usage, there has to be like a little bit of a breather at some point with Munoz, because let's not forget, not only he's pitched three times on this trip so far, but he's gotten up and down, up and down. So Munoz, I feel like they're going through this period right now where they're really leaning on him really heavily. Gabe Spire, I'll throw Gabe Spire in there, and I'll throw I'll throw Vargas in there as well, even though he's kind of fresh and ready to pitch, in a snowstorm right now. He could care less. But I still feel like when it comes down to it, when you're talking about adding to this team, having a little bit more depth in the bullpen would be massive. I just think to give Munoz If it's a situation, let's say we roll into this, and I'm speculating here, but let's say you're trying to take 3 or 4, you have 3 opportunities out of 4 with these Astros, and you get to that 8th inning, you're like, looking around going, man, we've already used Gabe Spire in the 7th. Let's lean on Munoz for multiples. And Matt Brash, he's still not right there, not quite there where you can lean on him back-to-back days or push him. So there is a little bit of that the bullpen is a little bit of a concern, but I think that's just the stress they're in right now with that, just with the usage and how much he used in the bullpen right now.
Mariners Astros first pitch at 5:10 p.m. today. This one in Houston. He is Mariners broadcaster Ryan Roland-Smith. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
We're going 4 rounds on this one, meaning we're running the gamut. Okay, talking about a couple different leagues here. So let's start with the NBA first down. Who will be the X factor in the Western and Eastern Conference Finals?
Let's get it in the West. In the West, all right? You know, you got to look at Anthony Edwards, right? It becoming the face of the NBA, but I'm looking at the Frenchman, Rudy Gobert, right? If he can play the pick and roll like he has been as of late, if he can protect the rim, then I think the Wolves are going to have a chance to get it done. I hope they get it done. I'm sure all of you guys are hoping they get it done. And then you got to go with Chet Holmgren. He's only averaging 12 or 13 points in the playoffs. He's got to have 1 or 2 really big games. You know that Gildress is going to do his thing. He's averaging 32 points in this playoff so far, but Chet has to get going. It's going to be on the bigs. You know what you're going to get out of Edwards. You know what you're going to get out of Gildress. The bigs got to show up. So the Frenchman on one side and then the Chet on the other side. Now, when it comes to the East, it comes down to Siakam. I think that Siakam, when he made the move, I think he was in Toronto first, Toronto to the Pacers, they thought that he was going to be the number 1 guy. He's not the number 1 guy. He's the number 2 guy. Halliburton has kind of claimed that spot, and he's showing that he can get it done. But Siakam's got to have a big game. I keep talking about these role players because you know what you're going to get out of Towns. You know what you're going to get out of Bronson. You know what you're going to get out of Halliburton. For the Pacers to win, Siakam's going to have 2 really big games. So I'm looking at the bigs on both sides. The Knicks, they just got to get more guys in rotation. Thibodeau cannot run 8 guys into the ground and expect them to be healthy. You're working off a 1-day rest now. It's every other day you were playing in the NBA Finals. You got to get more guys in that rotation. I'm hoping the Pacers come out of, man, I don't really care who comes out of the East, honestly. It could be the Pacers or the Knicks, but out of the West, I need the Wolves to get it done.
Do you think Anthony Edwards just needs to do more? I mean, he had a couple massive games against the Warriors, obviously dropping 36 back on May 10th during part of that series, obviously in Game 1 against OKC, 18 points.
Yeah, he just has to be good all the way around. There was a game where he had 1 assist, and his coach got on him for a bit. He comes back the next game, he drops 9 dimes and still puts up 25 points, and then he's good defensively. He just needs to be that all-around player. He shoots a lot of threes as well. You got to be at least 45% from the 3 if you want to be effective there. Yeah, he has to do his thing, get everyone involved, Rudy protect the rim, and they could do this.
Second down. Second round. Whose legacy do you need to be held intact with the championship?
So like I said, when I watch hockey, I go to Moonshine. That's my hockey spot. And I'm watching Dallas against Edmonton. Now, yesterday I said Edmonton at the bar. They're like, no, Edmonton. Don't pronounce the D. Oh, it's like Renton, like don't pronounce the T. And then they say Toronto. I say Toronto. They say good. Don't say Toronto. Say Toronto. These are Canadians I'm talking to. They're like, this is what we say. So the D doesn't exist apparently in Edmonton.
It's too hard for me. I can't do. I'm sorry.
Toronto.
I'm gonna have to work on it.
So I'm watching it.
I got nailed.
I'm watching it, and if you don't have to know hockey to see Connor McDavid do his thing and know that he is just different. All right, he's been captain of the Oilers since 2016. He's a 5-time recipient of the Art Ross Trophy for top point scorers. He's a 3-time winner of the Hart Memorial Trophy for most valuable player and a 4-time recipient of the Ted Lindsay Award, the best player voted by fellow players. I need him to win a Stanley Cup. I do not want him to be a Charles Barkley. I do not want him to be a Reggie Miller. He's too freaking good. Now, Dallas has been to the conference finals 3 of the last 4 years, I want to say. So he's got some work to do, but I'm watching him do his thing, the way he moves, and just the stories I hear about him from my hockey dudes over there at Moonshine, and how they think that they haven't seen anything like him since Gretzky. And one dude said he might be physically better than Gretzky. Gretzky just has all these accolades or whatnot. I need Connor McDavid to get himself a Stanley Cup. Maybe it's not this year. Maybe it's next year. So be it. I just hate it when the greats aren't able to kind of reach the mountaintop and look down at the haters and say, what? So come on, Connor, go ahead and get one.
Third round. What rookie do you feel can have a huge impact and not play on offense or defense?
Ricky White III. He has 3 block kicks in his college career. And the first person I thought about when I'm devising this third round was Cody White. Remember Cody White came in against the Rams, blocked a kick, had a good first down, then another catch down the sideline. These are the type of players that I talk about. You need 3 or 4 big plays from them throughout the season, and they're worth the investment. But with Ricky White, he gets after the kicks. Now, there's some type of, some guys who are just good at rebounding the ball. Like Dennis Rodman was just good at rebounding. He wasn't big. He wasn't that strong. He's undersized, but there's something about his mental that allows him to do it. I watched Ricky get after the kicker. There's just something about him. He knows how to bend his body. He knows where to place his hands when he's taking the ball off the foot. He's a guy that can shine in special teams because you know that other receivers are going to get opportunities. He's, the 7th round pick. He's going to have to grind to get on the football field. How do you get on the football field? You make plays on special teams. Ricky White the third is going to block 1 or 2 kicks this year.
Okay, 4th down. 4th round. 4th round. What's something Wyman said that you agree and disagree with?
I hope Wyman, I love you. I hope you hear this, and I hope he responds during his show so I can hear his response.
No, I hope he responds and texts you right now.
No, yeah, he can text me. I want to hear it live on the radio.
Okay.
There's a clip going around. Wyman says, "Why would you?" This isn't verbatim. It says, "Why would you send NFL players to the Olympics? That's for guys who didn't make it." And in my mind, I go, I can feel that because you want to allow your players to rest and stay healthy. And you want to let the guys who are in the UFL or maybe some college players go out there and do their thing. I get it. But I'm also like, Dave, if we do not win the gold medal for flag football, we will be laughed at. This is our sport. The first opportunity we have to show the world our dominance once again in another sport. We don't want to send the college guys out there. We don't want to send the UFL guys out there. We saw what happened in basketball. We don't want that. So, Dave, I understand where you're coming from because Dave's like, protect the investment. How about we don't protect the investment for the first time around? And then after we win the gold medal and blow everybody out, then you send the young pups, so the guys trying to make it out there, to go do their thing. I just don't want to lose this. We better not lose. We better not come. It's gold or nothing. I don't want no silver. I don't want no bronze. If you're not going to get a gold, don't even place. All right? This is our sport. Let's dominate.
I'm going to ask a classic American arrogant kind of question.
Okay.
But I feel it in my bones. What if our version of guys not good enough to make the league are still the best players?
They might be.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, what if our B squad?
I don't want to roll the dice. I'm
just saying.
I'm telling you, if we go out there and France is lighting us up, problems. If we go out there, France got some athletes, man. France got some athletes. I don't want to go out there in Germany lighting us up. I don't want to go out there in Italy lighting us up. All right? Pat Mahomes, Jamar Chase, Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Put Derrick Henry out there. He'll kill someone.
He's no good in flag football. He's no good.
Oh, okay.
You need the shifty guys out there. That's why I said Gibbs, because maybe Saquon too, but no, he's a tackle football guy.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think that we're going to be running laps around these other countries if we have
don't
want to
roll the
NFL
dice.
Players.
Come on, get them out there.
It's fair.
All right, Dave,
do it for
Dave,
gold.
Respond, man. I want to hear you, baby.
I think it was so brave of you to agree with something Dave said. I would never get on air and agree with Dave.
I love that.
That's such a bad idea.
But then I disagreed at the same time. Like I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, but the fact that you agreed with anything he said, come on, man, we're better than that.
Timeline coming your way next.
Kirby looks in, has a sign from Raleigh.
He's back.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for George Kirby.
Just in time as the first place Mariners start a 3-game set in Houston against an Astros team right on their heels.
Swing and a miss. He is dealing tonight.
Hear George Kirby's season debut tonight. First pitch at 5:10 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Ladies, and you guys too, have you noticed visible signs of aging, those deep wrinkles, fine lines, and facial creases stealing your youthful glow? Sagging skin, crow's feet, and loss of facial contour are all natural effects of aging, but you no longer have to let them define your appearance. Introducing the new Skin Lift, the groundbreaking facelift led by Dr. Brian Scott. The advanced new Skin Lift addresses key signs of facial aging for women and men, restoring natural youthful contours. Whether it's replenishing volume lost over time or lifting the skin to smooth out those creases, the new Skin Lift can help you look 10 to 20 years younger with both surgical and non-surgical options. It's Hollywood's best kept secret and now available to you. Get a free consultation and save $200 $250 off your new skin facelift. Schedule at newskinlift.com or 206-222-1225. Look 10 to 20 years younger and restore your youthful appearance with the new skin facelift. newskinlift.com.
Discover one of the new inventions in home comfort with mini split systems from Home Comfort Alliance. Enjoy efficient heating and cooling, saving energy and reducing utility bills. Call now for a free consultation and get 18 months same as cash financing. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to PendergastLaw.com.
Are you still using allergy pills and sprays to treat your allergy attacks? I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. Nasal congestion, sneezing, runny nose, snoring, facial pain are just a few of the sinus symptoms we can help you out with. From allergy workups and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced outpatient balloon sinuplasty, we can diagnose and treat your problems. Let us help you get relief, easily, quickly, and permanently. Find us in Federal Way or Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible from surgery to different drugs to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Washington is leading the way in car theft reduction. Car thefts dropped by 32% from 2023 to 2024 in our state, but there's still work to be done. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Prevent the theft and keep you and your vehicle safe. These tips are brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline on Bump and Stacy, reading you the top stories you're going to see and hear about on your own timeline. We're getting started with a story out of MLB. Two-time All-Star infielder Jean Segura announced his retirement after 12 seasons spent with 5 teams, including, of course, the Mariners. And who can forget some of those moments?
The pitch, Curb swinging a fly ball into right field and deep, going back. Springer to the one-he track to the wall. Goodbye baseball, Jean Segura. An opposite field home run to right, the Mariners' first home run of the 2017 season. He hit 20 of them last year in the National League. And with that, the Mariners have a 2-0 lead over the Astros.
A home run against the Astros. I'm so sorry. I just fell and my hand pressed the button of a highlight against the Astros. That's crazy. But yeah, so congratulations to Jean Segura on his retirement.
He low-key put a bar right there. It's onto the windows to the wall. The baseball to the wall. I heard that. So there you go, Riz. But no, he had some good years, man. It was a year in 2016. He was his average was 319. His career average is 218. Career OPS is 729. My man hit 110 bombs. Just a solid player, 2-time All-Star. And whenever you're a professional in any sport for more than like 5 or 6 years, you're doing something right. So big ups to Gene, and enjoy retirement, man. That's got to be. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna miss the game, but when you've made your money, you've had a good career. And when you decide to hang a bump, man, other things become more important.
What's the weirdest thing about retiring as an athlete?
Is your daily routine. Like your whole life revolves around your sport, and what you do in your body. That's why you see a lot of these athletes, especially the old school ones, they get out of shape so quick. They're like, man, I'm not working out no more.
Yeah.
I'm drinking my beer. I'm eating whatever I want.
Yeah.
And you get to indulge a little bit more.
40 pounds later.
Exactly. And then you look in the mirror like, oh, dang. But no, you've earned that. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. So just enjoy it, man.
The Detroit Tigers AA affiliate, the Irsay Seawolves, will be ceding full creative control for the team's rebrand to John Oliver's Last Week Tonight team. Oliver recently put out an offer to minor league baseball teams across the country. Quote, "We are willing to use all of our resources," this is HBO money, "and stupidity to give one minor league baseball team a total rebrand." 47 teams applied, and the Erie Seawolves will undergo the rebrand. I cannot wait to see.
That's got to be fun. I feel like you would have such a fun time doing something like that.
Oh, my
Like
God.
my brain don't work like that. I'm not creative in that way with branding and all that good stuff. Like even with my business partner does all of that stuff. Like I'm like, yeah, that looks good. Just send me like 3 or 4 options. And yeah, I'll pick one. And if you don't like it, okay, let's talk about it. We'll probably go what you like because you have an eye for that. Me, I do not have an eye for that kind of stuff.
This is going to be so fun. I'm so jealous of that team. And again, they've got HBO money. Like they're throwing money at this. It's going to be really fun. They're going to have like not a whole episode, but when he does his little showcase parts of his episode dedicated to it. I think it's a great idea for a minor league baseball team because your whole point, right, is like internally we're developing these guys. We're also just trying to get butts in the seats.
Yeah.
So we're going to do whatever we can to keep that happening. And this is a great opportunity to do that. Next up, a man has been charged for buying beer for a 20-year-old fan who fell from the stands at a Pirates game. I know you guys remember that from earlier. It was Kevon Markwood. He fell and was admitted to the hospital in critical condition with severe injuries to his skull, spine, ribs, and lungs. That was a week ago. Fell 21 feet from the right field stands at PNC Park. He was in intensive care. The good news is he's progressing and he's going to be released in a week. But the second that it was announced, a 20-year-old fan, it was very clear he was inebriated, and everyone was naturally going, how'd that happen?
That's unfortunate, man, because I'm sure people listening know someone or have been that person, ask an older person to buy you like some beer or something at the store.
Well, and it was a 21-year-old, so I'm thinking it was maybe a friend.
Yeah, it was his boy. So you just got to be responsible with that stuff, man. It's not like it's illegal, but I guarantee you that's not the first beer that young man has had, and it's not the first time that he's been in that state. But it just kind of brings things to reality. Like, you are responsible. If you are to do something like that and provide a minor with alcohol, you will be held responsible for the bad things that happen after that. So I'm sure that young man has learned his lesson, but the most important thing is that the young man who fell is doing better because it was looking rough for a little bit.
Yeah, it was. I really thought for a minute, oh my God, did he just die? Did he break his back? What happened there? And it was very, very serious injuries that he sustained. He had to be like on a breathing tube for a while, but thankfully he's going to be okay. He did an interview already where he talked about, I broke everything. So, I mean, he's at least in good spirits. But again, like you said, like a reminder of something that many people have probably done before, right? You turn 21 a couple months before your friend, you get each other beers, that you're legally responsible for that. So just think very carefully about it. Next up, Rays announcer Andy Freed has once again proved the announcer jinx is real. Can I just stop and say, I don't think it's real, but I understand that like 90% of baseball fans, Ian's nodding.
Stacy, you listen to that cut and you tell me it's not real.
Okay. So this is allegedly the announcer jinx background. In the top of the first inning, he discussed the layout of the Rays' adopted home, George M. Steinbrenner Field. This is the spring training home of the New York Yankees, which the Rays are using while they obviously wait for Tropicana Field to be repaired. Specifically, he mentioned how left field hasn't been a popular spot for players to hit home runs in the park.
You think about it, there really haven't been that many home runs to left in this ballpark this year, and will we see another? We sure do. 2-run homer off the scoreboard for Irsay Paredes, and 2 batters in. The Astros are up 2.
Look, I understand.
The timing is impeccable.
I understand how that can sound.
The timing is impeccable.
I don't think there's such a thing as an announcer jinx.
How are you ignoring the evidence you just heard?
The evidence. There's evidence.
No, that's just.
As he was saying it.
That's evidence.
How do you not hear that?
It's like looking at the pictures of Diddy's baby oil and saying, no, he didn't have no baby oil.
Well, that's very different. Do you think that if someone's throwing a no-hitter, for instance, and you say he's throwing a no-hitter, that you're going to end the no-hitter?
Yes. You don't talk about it. You don't talk to that pitcher. You don't look at that pitcher.
I don't think so.
You leave him alone.
I don't think that's true.
It's
I think as a player, you leave him alone. You don't mention it and you don't get inside his head. But as an announcer, he's not listening.
You know how many times we've watched the Seahawks games together, me and the broadcast crew, and someone says, man, this game is going by fast. And we all look at him like, what are you doing?
And then it goes by
And
slow.
then it slows down. It just,
Man,
the universe
this show
works
is
that way.
dragging today.
Well, the jinx can't work in reverse when you want it to happen. That's not how jinxes work.
Yeah, that's true. That's like Final Destination when you try to outsmart death and it's like, I know exactly what you're doing. Now the show's going to go slow because the universe knows what I'm doing. But I don't believe in jinxes.
If he hadn't said anything and then the home run had been hit to left, then he wouldn't have jinxed it. There wouldn't have been a jinx.
Guess what?
But he did say something and it was hit, so there is a jinx.
So now you're going with like a prophecy being fulfilled. Just saying the prophecy doesn't fulfill it, but when people then do that thing, that prophecy kind of prompted them to act.
Just don't say anything.
No. No. Jinxes aren't real. They're not.
Okay.
TJ in the 425. Stacy, you are so wrong on this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thank you, TJ.
I'm telling you, man.
Something, same, 626 says, same thing. Happened with the M's a while ago, and I heard it live. Saying like, still waiting for a home run here, and then they knocked in a home run. Or so-and-so hasn't given up a home run this year. Crack of the bat.
Didn't Sims have something like that happen?
I'm sure every broadcaster can think of, if we text Gary right now and say, when did you jinx something? Or if we text Sims and say, I bet Dave Sims doesn't believe in jinxes.
Sims only believes in what he can see.
Sims believes in the Eagles.
Is the realest.
Dave Sims believes in one thing, and it's the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go, Birds. All right. Do I have time for another story here? I do. Oh, we didn't get to did you and Curtis get to this? From the about the Western Conference Finals? Obviously, they've already started.
Well, we didn't talk about it. We talked about it off air.
It's been 29 years since the Western Conference Finals have not featured a team from Texas or California.
That's wild.
A note from Yahoo Sports. Obviously, it was ahead of this game, but we weren't on air, so I didn't get a chance to
29
mention
years.
it.
So we're going back to what, 96?
29 years. No, I'm sorry, Bump. Your math is wrong. 29 years ago was 1980. I think you need to check your sources.
So the first thing I did was I went back. I go, okay, well, who were in the finals back then? So 96, we were talking about 97. That's what the Bulls and the Sonics were in that thing. That's not a team from Cali or Texas. But then you go Lakers, and then you go the Spurs were in it a bunch of times. Obviously, the Warriors were in it a bunch of times. The Mavericks were in it a couple times. It's crazy. The run is crazy. Yeah.
I absolutely can't believe that. The entire text line is telling me I'm insane and that jinxes are real. Someone said to ask that jinxes exist in other fields. So like doctors and nurses, there are certain things you don't
better
say.
not.
If anyone's a nurse, or doctor or someone, can you text me in and let me know what that's about?
Right.
I need to know.
I need to know too.
I'm just telling you, I'm going to say it right now. If I see a little no-hitter banner pop up for a Mariners game, I'm texting the group, and I am saying...
What do you mean a no-hitters banner?
You know when they have little no-hitter watch banners that pop up on the MLB app?
Yeah.
I'm going to text the group, and I'm going to say, so-and-so has a no-hitter through 7.
And everyone's going to yell at you.
No, I'm going to say it.
Everyone's going to yell
And then
at you.
I will prove to you all that sports jinxes are false.
They got to take that banner off the broadcast. Even that bothers me. Just don't even address it.
I think they should put it up in the first. I think that you should be
Every
entering,
game starts off with a no-hitter.
That's how an ongoing joke that I have with myself is that entering every single inning, I go, we got a no-hitter through 1 here. We got a no-hitter through 1 2/3.
You would be so annoying to sit by and watch that
I'm
game.
the most annoying person to sit by. I feel bad for you. Just daily, on the daily. All right. Is the coaching staff responsible for the change we're seeing with the Mariners? That's next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
What if the Mariners were fully healthy? They had their full complement of everybody in the rotation. You had Robles, you had Raleigh, Brash from the start of the year, I guess. 2. All of those guys are only worth 2 wins?
They're getting it done in a different kind of way. I mean, yeah, I think everything is worked out for a reason.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
IRG Physical and Hand Therapy doesn't just treat injuries, they elevate athletes. From weekend warriors to elite competitors, IRG Sports Institute clinics are built for performance, blending top-tier physical therapy with advanced sports science and personalized training plans. Hey, Brock Hewitt here with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Why? Why elevate athletes as well?
Because here at IRG, Brock, our motto is we want you to be your best self, your best physical self, your best mental self, and your best community self. At our new IRG Fremont Sports Institute, we're providing that type of care. We've got the latest equipment, the greatest techniques, the providers there that are excited to get you better, basically bigger, faster, stronger. Doesn't matter if you're a weekend warrior, a recreational athlete, an elite athlete, we will make you to be your best.
You'll work with specialists who understand the grind because they've been there. With access to cutting-edge equipment and recovery techniques, you won't just heal, you'll come back stronger. Visit IRGPT.com, IRGPT.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
The future is here, so why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
When you have really good leaders, it makes it easy.
Gia arrived at Lee Johnson after 10 years at another dealership.
You know your job, but then you have people who you can rely on to help you with the big stuff that you need that support from. And I've gotten that every day with my service manager, with our assistant service manager, with even like our GM and our GSM. The way that, we're now on the showroom together, we are so close-knit just as a department. My service manager here, he's always open to teach you whatever you want to know. He just wants everybody to do good around him, and if somebody wants to learn something, I'm here to do it. And I've never had a service manager like that before. They're really good at promoting from within. That's one thing that I've learned from working here is I see people start out as a lot porter, and people work their way all the way up to being a general manager.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family. When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA Club World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I've been told by multiple people, shamed, I would say, during the break, that sports jinxes / broadcaster jinxes in particular. Shame. Absolutely agree. Someone said the Yamamoto no-hitter, first pitch proves jinxes are real. And then a bunch of people that either are nurses or someone else said my fiance's a nurse. I was wondering what the nurse jinx was, and it was just if you say it's quiet at the hospital. The Q word, they said.
The Q word.
That if it's quiet, that
it's about to get active.
Then immediately. And the problem is, unfortunately, in an emergency room, a busy day is not a good thing for lots of people. So I figured that out. But I can't say that my mind has been changed. And I'm not just
Even
trying to
with
be,
evidence.
I'm not trying to be a contrarian. I really do think that while I believe in some things when it comes to the universe, okay, I don't know that I think I have an impact on whether or not. If I say, oh man, we were joking yesterday. I was like, oh man, folks, I think Cal's cooling off, and then he hits a double, then he gets a home run, then he gets a walk, right? I don't actually think that I had an impact on that. I don't think the universe is haha, I think I just had a random
Do you believe
take.
in a higher power?
Yes.
Do you think that higher power, he's got she's got a sense of humor? So, oh yeah,
I don't.
no hitter.
Listen,
I got this.
I don't think that Jesus Christ himself is out here trying to be oh, you thought that would be a perfect game?
Why
Let
not?
me show you, Stacy.
Why not? He created us.
I just don't think sports. I don't think that you
Let
can
me
jinx.
let me mess with them real quick. Let me mess with them.
Okay. I don't think that you can jinx a no-hitter.
I do.
Or a perfect game.
I do.
I think that
manifestation. You believe in manifestation?
No. I think I might.
All right. So if you believe in that, all right, you talk it.
But I don't really believe that you change.
You power it into existence.
No.
If you believe in manifestation, if you sit there and you say, if I think about this, if I talk about it, it's going to manifest. It's going to happen to me. It can happen in reverse too.
But what I think
just can't be positive.
But I don't think you're actually changing something in the universe. What you're doing, Ian's just shaking his head. What you're doing is changing your own behavior by virtue of changing the way you're thinking. So if you're like, I'm trying to manifest positivity into my life, well, you're probably looking for positivity in a way that you didn't before. You know what I mean? Like you're tricking yourself into thinking that life is becoming more positive when it was always there for you to see.
No.
Trust me. The entire text line is telling me I'm wrong. Someone said you don't talk about a shutty in hockey. You don't talk about. Someone said stop saying the Q word. I'm sorry. Stacy 1000% cares about Mercury being in retrograde. I don't actually. I don't care about astrology. I don't think horoscopes are real. I don't.
Well, that's different. That's the beautiful thing about this. You can believe it whatever you want to believe in, Stacy. You can believe it. You believe jinxes aren't real.
Hey,
That's
y'all
fine.
want to hear more evidence about an announcer jinx?
Yes, please.
Matt.
Well, let's hear this then.
Don't take this the wrong way, but we are already a no-hitter alert. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, before he throws a single pitch tonight against the Marlins, we have a no-hitter alert. Okay. Enjoy what could be a no-hitter from Yamamoto.
You know Jazz when your first pitch.
Right here on MLB Network for Harold, CY, I'm Greg. We have a no-hitter alert. Enjoy this game live on MLB Network.
Boy, you're crazy.
In the major leagues to establish himself as that guy. Dodgers looking for a 6th straight win and a 13th out of their last 15 after they took the first game 6-3 last night. Yamamoto comes home and off we go, and the aggressive Marlins get a first pitch swing and a high fly ball and a home run for Jazz Chisholm on the first pitch.
That was just chance.
The same game in pregame, they joke about a no-hitter alert. And the first pitch of the game is a home run. What are the chances of both of those things occurring at the same time?
Both of those things. Okay, them joking about, wow, it's his first start, it's going to be a no-hitter, and then he takes a no-hitter through, 7 or up until 7th or whatever.
No, this is different. Okay, they joked around about this being a no-hitter alert in pregame.
Okay.
And the first pitch of the game is a home run.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that's fun.
That's fun.
I thought that he had a no-hitter, and they were saying, or no-hitter
That's
going.
even worse.
And they were saying, we got a no-hitter, and then he gives up a hit.
That's even worse. That's crazy.
Okay, that is, however, I'm not, no. This is coincidence. It's interesting. It's fun, but that's just funny.
You want to know the worst part about all of this?
Funny.
The end result is going to be Stacy jinxing a Mariners no-hitter at some point this season.
No, I'm not.
And it is going to be blamed solely on her.
No, it's not.
She did it.
Absolutely not. Okay, I'm sorry. The 503, Stacy sounds like a flat earther right now. I need us to take several steps back for a minute and realize you guys are saying that I am the crazy flat earther.
No one said that.
For
that person said
not
that.
thinking that jinxes, which are not proven, they're not scientific, they are entirely
So you only
based
believe
on
in science.
superstition.
You only believe in science.
This isn't science.
You only believe in. You just brought science to the mix. You said it's not science, so you only believe in science.
No, I'm saying that, I'm saying that, yes,
Stacey,
I do believe in
want you to
science,
scientifically
and I'm saying that
disprove jinxes.
superstition.
How? Tell me how.
The arrogance of humans.
Here we go.
The arrogance.
No, listen. How can I jinx the Mariners? I need a jinx that can be proven in the game today. Okay.
I don't know.
Julio will hit. Julio will get a base hit in his first at bat.
That's not a jinx.
Well, I don't know how
That's
to prove
just a
this.
prediction.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do?
It's
So I
gotta-
have to say it while it's happening?
Yeah, it's like specific scenarios that you just, as humans, you just don't talk about it.
It would be me saying, like, oh, the Mariners are on such a hot streak. Like, all you need to do is take, even just one game from the Astros. Like, if I started talking about how they were getting hot and then they cooled off.
Nah, we talk about that all the time, though.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
It's
How many
situational.
times have
It's
I maybe jinxed the
situational. It's
Mariners?
situational.
If
You got to be in
talk
that
about
moment.
how hot they are on the road and all of their road series wins, and then they
I've
go
already
and
done
get
that.
swept.
I've done
Okay, but
that.
now
I
you
opened the
guys know
show with that.
you can blame Ian if that happens.
blame
I
me.
just
I
wanna
opened the
say
show
it.
with
It's a
that.
hypothetical. I wasn't saying anything. I don't think they're going to get swept.
I just think that we find these, we look at coincidences and timing and funny things and think they're real, and sports jinxes aren't real. They are not real. And I don't know.
That's an opinion. That's your opinion. This is the Bump and Stacy show. She is on her own with that one.
We didn't even get to our topic here. We'll save it for a bit later. We got some good sound. Jordan Schusterman joining us next.
Kirby looks in, has a sign from Raleigh.
He's back.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for George Kirby.
Just in time as the first-place Mariners start a 3-game set in Houston against an Astros team right on their heels.
Swing and a miss. He is dealing time.
Hear George Kirby's season debut tonight. First pitch at 5:10 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey there. I'm Phil Briggs, Navy veteran and host of CBS Eye on Veterans weekly radio show and podcast. And I often think of my old boss in the Navy, Commander Reed, especially when I'm trying to motivate my kids. Now I know how he must have felt trying to motivate me. This Military Appreciation Month, Navy Federal Credit Union wants to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Need a new roof, but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Bankruptcy, foreclosure, bad divorce? Don't worry. Jet City Harley is now considering all credit applications. Couldn't get financed before? Don't worry. No perfect credit, no cash down, no problem. Get financed on a new Harley today. Visit JetCityHarley.com.
On approved credit.
Upgrade to an efficient heat pump AC now before the summer heat. And Home Comfort Alliance will save you up to $6,000 limited time savings. And you can take 18 months to pay with 0 interest. Call for a free quote. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
When you think of hot, you might think about the tragic time you ate too much wasabi. Or about getting into your car on a summer day when it feels more like stepping into a sauna. But heat can work in your favor, like during Verizon Red Hot Deal Days. Get hundreds of hot deals on all your favorites, like iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence, Apple Watch Series 10, and iPad, on any plan. Only until May 28th for new and existing customers. Offer available on My Plan. Only at Verizon.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
George Kirby has been reinstated from the 15-day injured list, and he will start tonight's game in Houston. The Mariners are 5-1 on their road trip so far, with the first of 4 against the Astros tonight at 5:10 p.m. Pregame show starts at 4 p.m. on Seattle Sports, talking about this series with Jordan Schusterman in 30 seconds.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Jordan Schusterman of Yahoo Sports and Baseball Barbie-Cast joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Jordan, my first question for you. Do you believe in sports jinxes? Are they real?
Ooh. Probably not.
Thank you,
I think
Jordan.
There's kind of a range, the announcer jinx, talking about no-hitter, stuff like that. But I don't know. It depends. Most of the time, jinxes come across as fairly self-important.
Who was your favorite team growing up?
Oh, man, my favorite team growing up.
Yeah.
See, this is a good question because, honestly, my favorite sports team when I was like 10 to 13 was the Tennessee Titans. I know it's very random. I was a big Tennessee Titans fan.
Our favorite baseball team.
Favorite baseball team. My first favorite team when I was like 5 was the Chicago Cubs, just because I love Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa was my first favorite athlete.
Okay. You're not helping me right now.
What was
All
your
right, when you were 14, 15, 16, who was your favorite ball club?
I'm trying to see, where are you leading?
I'm trying to put you back in that day and say, okay, your favorite team had a no-hitter going. I bet you did not mention that no-hitter. I bet you didn't.
Yeah, where did the superstition come in? That's a good question. I don't know. I think I actually push back. I think when you're younger, you're not even thinking about that. You're just it's not even that's less important. You really don't think you're that important.
Okay, so
I was 14 and Hideo Nomo could be 4 innings in, have no hitter going. I ain't touching that. I'm like, yeah, he's playing good.
So right now, if you're watching a Mariners, let's just bring it back to the Mariners. We're watching the Mariners,
Sure.
and we're 7 innings in, and it's a perfect game.
Yeah.
Are you
George
texting
Kirby
Jake
tonight?
Yeah. Are you
Am I
texting
saying
Jake,
anything? Yeah.
your co-host, and saying perfect game, or are you just sending eye emojis and saying George Kirby?
No, I would say that when we're talking about no hitters or perfect games in particular, while I don't believe in the jinxes, I do enjoy the gymnastics of talking around it.
Sure,
I think that
I
is
can
fun.
accept.
I think
fun.
just being like, hey, turn the blank on,
It's fun.
turn this game on. This guy's throwing pretty well tonight. I don't know if you noticed.
That's fun.
I prefer
Interesting
that
game
version
happening.
than getting too angry about mentioning what is happening.
All right, well, let's talk about the return of George while
Yeah,
we're just
let's
on
do
the
that.
topic, obviously, making his season debut today against the Astros. We know that they're going to look at reining him in around 80 pitches, between 70 and 80 or so. I am so surprised, Jordan, by where the Mariners have been able to get not just without George, without Logan, right? With Luis Castillo previously being a bit up and down right now without Bryce, a number of injuries to these arms. Finally, they're getting him back. Do your expectations for this team, granted, George Kirby hasn't had a spring training, it's going to be a slow start, but do your expectations change a bit now?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly when you start looking ahead and you're saying, okay, now they're going to get these guys back. Now we've already seen Brash kind of fold into the mix here and the impact that he's made. Yeah, it's hard not to get excited about that. I think there are still some real questions about Bryce Miller, about Luis Castillo, the version that we've seen, that still kind of leave this rotation in a state that it was not in a year ago. But no, you got to be excited about George Kirby coming back. I mean, he has been so rock solid for them since he's been in the big leagues, and I think he's an interesting case too because he looks awesome as a rookie. He makes an all-star team in his second season, and then last year it wasn't a bad season, but when that standard is so high, it's like you keep expecting that trajectory to continue, and frankly, that didn't happen last year. Again, it was a good season. He still had the best command in Major League Baseball, but I think with George Kirby's progression, if he stays right where he is, if he returns to what he has been the last couple of years, that's an incredible pitcher to add to your staff. I don't want to be mistaken for anything other than that. At the same time, because the talent is so great, you do wonder if there is another level for him, the way that Logan Gilbert kind of reached last year and seemed to be reaching this year before his injury.
Cal's season, it's interesting, right? Because you look at his numbers, and the only thing that sticks out are the bombs that he's hitting, right? The average isn't great, but we don't expect that. That's not what he's here to do. How do you put the season that he's having in context? Like, is there something you can compare it to? Like, paint the picture for a person who doesn't really understand what we're seeing with Cal.
Man, I mean, it's as simple as, well, okay, so you mentioned, all right, well, the average isn't great. Well, it's higher than it's ever been. So that's one thing, at least in terms of Cal. Like if Cal's going to hit 250 or even 240, that is a step up from where it's been in the past with him. So you could say that is an improvement. But let's focus on the home runs. You could say, oh, well, it's just a bunch of home runs. Well, catchers are not supposed to be leading baseball in home runs. That's not supposed to be part of their game really at any point. And while we've seen him, hit 30 home runs or close to it each of the last 3 seasons, I mean, the pace he's on right now is ridiculous. And for me, the thing is just how much more consistent he's been. This really started last year, but how much more impactful he's become right-handed. I would say there's so many things you can talk about with Cal Raleigh's progression, but you normally with switch hitters, it's pretty lopsided. You have one side that is producing a lot more than the others, and early in his career, that was the case with him too. You really only felt like he was able to do damage lefty, but last couple of years, that's really changed. I know on the whole, maybe the on base and the batting average is still going to be worse on the right side, but he has managed to continue hitting a lot of huge home runs right-handed, which earlier in his career, I never really thought would be a massive part of his game.
Stacy, turn your mic on.
Sorry, I had my headset thing back. What's so impressive, too, is he's obviously a phenomenal catcher, right? And I think people from afar, if they knew nothing about Cal Raleigh, would go, maybe the assumption would be that you must be lacking in some area. There must be a point of weakness with your game. If you're excellent, at the plate, how are you behind the dish or whatever? But he has just grown into an amazing, multifaceted weapon for this team.
Yeah, I would point out, and some people have sort of noticed this, he has been a little bit worse at controlling the running game this year. That's something that he had certainly been elite at recently. Still a great blocker, great framer, and I'm sure his command of the pitching staff and guiding this pitching staff through games is still well beyond any amount of base running that he's stolen bases and stuff like that. Like, I'm not as worried about that, but it is, again, if we're nitpicking for a season that if the season ended today, he might be an MVP finalist. Like, it's just, I guess, worth pointing out. But that's the standard we're holding him to at this point, which is pretty amazing.
Early in Julio's career, I mean, it's still early in his career, but, they were aggressive. The Mariners are aggressive as a team on the backs, stealing bases or whatnot, but it doesn't seem like they're sending Julio as much. I think him and Dumper got around the same amount of stolen bases, which is crazy. Is that on purpose? Do you think they should send him more? What do you see there?
Yeah, that is an interesting one. I know there was a lot of discussion earlier on in the season about how aggressive they were on the base paths and how many stolen bases they had. And again, that was some players that were healthy before that were maybe not as much now. Guys like Robles, guys like Ryan Bliss, Dylan Moore is someone we've seen. Randy, I believe Randy's a perfect 9 for 9 this season, but he's kind of picked his spots. With guys like Julio, it's hard because it's in there. It's not a matter of ability. I think the casual fan probably underrates just the risk involved from a physical and durability standpoint of stealing bases as often as some guys do. Now some players clearly don't care, and that's admirable and and fun to watch when the Otanis of the world, Acuna, Ellie De La Cruz are just running. So I don't know with Julio whether it has been an approach thing, whether it has been a conscious decision, whether he just hasn't been feeling like as dangerous of a base runner. The speed seems generally fine to me. I'm not exactly sure how StatCast grades it out, but it is interesting to see him and Cal have the same number at this stage. I agree. It is at least a little bit surprising.
Feel free to step back from Seattle for your answer here. Do you have, out of curiosity, like a pet peeve baseball conversation? Something where when people start talking about it, you go, where's my soapbox? Like, I need to get on this thing.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're lucky enough to have a podcast we do 3 times a week. We do a lot of stuff that gets us a little bit. We have a lot of things. I don't know. I think, we've been talking about this over these past week or so with Juan Soto has got me kind of exhausted in terms of some of that conversation. I think that's another one where we see a lot of kind of portraying or projecting what we assume to be the case onto players because things are off the field, things are so outsized or so different or so impactful. I generally, I'd rather do as much as I can to just keep the focus on what's happening on the field from this team. Because listen, that's interesting in and of itself. I just wrote a little about Yahoo today about the Red Sox Mets series and how Juan Soto is looking. And it is interesting, but I think that's interesting because it's Juan Soto, the baseball player, and not because of everything that has kind of led to this point in terms of which team he picked for, $800 million. Is
the theory people are having, is it mostly Yankees fans projecting like, oh, he's regretting it, or tensions are bad, or they don't want him anymore?
Yeah, it's stuff like that. Silly, honestly, to me, it's even more so. This was even a thing is being like, oh, look, he looks unhappy here for 2 seconds and he doesn't look like he's smiling in the dugout in the same way that he was before. It's like, listen, if you want to try and be, body language doctor here to an extreme degree, I just can't relate to that at all. I'd rather try and take away what they are actually giving us from a statistical standpoint.
Yeah, I feel you. Some people look at me like, why are you mad? I go, I'm good. Like, what are you talking about?
It's just my face.
I'm just chilling.
I'm just here.
I'm just chilling.
I'm just here.
Getting back to Kirby, Stacy asked me to start the show. Like, all right, what do you expect from Kirby? What do you want to see? And to me, I just want to see him find his rhythm, find his timing, hit his spots. Like, a win will be great, but it's more important that he just gets through this healthy and he looks good. What should people expect from Kirby? Do they want him to go out there? I'm sure they want him to go out there and perform. It'd be great, but let's be real. This is his first start.
Yeah, it is. And I think the fact that it's in Houston, right, it feels like it carries more weight. And I know we've seen George have a good amount of success against Houston in the past. I think what's been encouraging is that if you look at his numbers, not necessarily the stats, but if you look at the stuff in AAA, you look at the velocity, you look at the pitch mix, it's looked like George Kirby, right? We got the 2 fastballs, we got the slider, we got the splitter. He's thrown it, all the velo all looks about as you'd expect. And so I think you'd hope, especially against this Astros offense right now, which is certainly not the Astros offenses that we've seen George kind of take over in the past, he should be able to pound the zone against them a good bit. Now we'll see how they approach. There are some new faces in this lineup, right? Like Christian Walker, Isaac Paredes, who's been just fantastic for them recently. I think I can imagine Paredes becoming someone that annoys Mariners, which is funny, right? He was someone that was kind of in the discourse as someone that the Mariners might be targeting. He's been a fantastic fit in Houston. I can imagine him coming up big at some point during this series, but anytime you have a 4-game set in Houston, it's going to be a big deal, and Kirby at least has the opportunity to kind of set the tone there.
Okay, so you've answered quite a bit of this already, but I just wanted to keep diving into it. We've already seen this Houston team once this year, but it's early enough in the season where I'm trying to pin down exactly who everyone is in the AL West still and kind of what we can expect. Unfortunately, I have seen the very best versions of the Astros, and they are tied to some of my worst memories. So what's still very much there when it comes to Houston? Like, hey, this is this guy's still here, or this thing they do well is still very much real, and you got to watch out for it. And where might be some of the soft spots, the Achilles heels that this team has found themselves having?
That's a good way to think about it. That's because, this roster has changed. We're not watching Carlos Correa anymore. We're not watching Kyle Tucker. We're not watching Alex Bregman. Some of the guys who have been there, I mentioned Paredes as a new one. Jeremy Pena is having a really nice season. That's another one, again, tied to a not so pleasant memory for Seattle, obviously.
Yeah.
But I will say, that incredible run that Jeremy Pena had in 2020-22, that really didn't sustain over the next few seasons. And I think it kind of created an outsized perception of how good of a player he was. But this year, he's kind of started to look more like that all-around superstar that it felt like he was trending towards. Some of their other homegrown guys have not been quite as consistent. I mean, Altuve's, it's been a quiet season relatively so far. Christian Walker hasn't totally settled in. Yainer Diaz has kind of taken a pretty big step back. Jake Myers, inexplicably, I mean, Astros outfield was a big question coming into the year. He's been really, really good, and he's always been a good defender, so that's been kind of a pleasant surprise for them. And then on the mound, I mean, Framber Valdez remains one of the best pitchers in the league, and then Hunter Brown has just taken that step. Hunter Brown has always had kind of that stuff, and it's funny, again, thinking back to 2022, that's back when he was a rookie too as well, and you kind of saw it and you're like, man, could this be this next great Astros pitcher? I mean, we are really seeing it. We sort of saw it in the second half of last year, but we are really starting it to see this year as well. And then the bullpen is interesting just because Hader, of course, is a relatively recent addition. Abreu is still a mainstay. And then it's a lot of really random, like totally anonymous guys, some of which have been very, very effective, some of which it's been a little bit weaker. But as far as I can tell, no Jordan in this series, so he's also been kind of bad for pretty much the first time in his career. Whether that's tied to his injury, I'm not sure. But it's the Astros still have some good players that will annoy you, but it is not anywhere close to the juggernaut that they have been in years past.
All right, Jordan, before we let you go, tell listeners where they can find more from you and what's on the latest episode of Baseball Barbie-cast.
Yeah, so we actually recorded on Thursday. Normally we're Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but just 2 shows this week. So you can listen to our first look at the awards coming in. Do a first little awards check-in on this Thursday edition, as well as recapping Red Sox Mets. And then next week, my co-host Jake will be visiting me here in Ohio as the Los Angeles Dodgers are taking on the Cleveland Guardians, and Jake's coming in for that series. So a lot of fun stuff coming up on Baseball Barbie-cast, and you can read all my work at Yahoo Sports.
He is Yahoo Sports' Jordan Schusterman. Thank you, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.
Again, Jordan joins us typically every single Wednesday, but obviously moving things around. But if you want more from Jordan, you can find more on past episodes of Bump and Stacy. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
George Kirby will make his first start for the Mariners tonight since March 22nd. What's the real headline?
Kirby, your expectations for tonight? I think fairly.
Yeah.
He hasn't had spring training yet.
Yeah.
70, 80 pitches.
I do feel better after talking to Jordan and him describing who the Astros are right now. What are they, 3.5 games behind the Mariners, I believe, but he gave me some comfort. Like, they're not the dudes that you're used to seeing over the past couple of years. Makes me feel better, but as soon as I see those uniforms, we're at their ballpark, just bad memories just start just coming back. So, yeah, George, I'm happy that he's back. I'm curbing my expectations for him, as you beautifully put. And I just want him to get through healthy and just find your rhythm, your timing, and just get ready for the long haul.
Headline rewrites.
The Pacers took the first game of the East Finals over the Knicks 138-135 in overtime last night. What's the real headline?
I apologize to the Pacers. I wasn't familiar with your game. I liked this from Pablo Torre. I wish I could have made it a headline rewrite. He said, the Knicks genetic code contains a distinct strain of Metsiness. Very important to understand that.
That's well said. The Knicks, man, it's Thibodeau's running his guys into the ground. I mean, you can't play the same 8 guys as much as he plays them. With the Pacers, they had at least, 10 to 11 guys that average around 15 minutes throughout the regular season. But this has been like Thibodeau. When he was with the Bulls, every stop he was at, he was known to run his players into the ground. And as a player, you want to be out there. You're liking the minutes. But at some point, man, you got to tap your head and say, look, give me 2 or 3 minutes so I'm good to go in the fourth quarter. This has been obviously one game in, but it's been great to watch so far. It's taken me back to my childhood in the early 90s and just watching Reggie go at it. And then you go later, you got Rick Smits with the Pacers going at it. Jalen Rose used to be there. It was just I've always had memories of the Pacers being a good ball team. So it's nice to have them kind of resurrect who they are. And the Knicks at the same time, too, man. I remember growing up watching Spreewell and LJ and John Starks and Oakley. It's just it feels like old school basketball in this this series. The other series feels like new school basketball.
That's a good point. The text line still getting all over it with jinxes, saying TJ in the 425, and they'll have to contend with Stacy doing everything in her power to jinx it all. I didn't even jinx the Mariners. I didn't say anything. The Mariners will win this game.
Oh, there we go. It's
the
done.
Mariners will win this game
It's
tonight. And here's the thing that's going to disprove this to all of you. The Mariners will win this, and I will not have jinxed it. And then you're going to be stuck trying to make arguments about how jinxes are real, even though I clearly did not jinx the Mariners.
Clearly.
So just keep that in mind when the Mariners win.
Y'all should see her face right now. It's like, as a matter of fact.
And furthermore,
that's what it's going to be.
What's next?
Headline rewrites.
The proposed ban of the tush push did not receive enough votes at yesterday's NFL spring meeting. What's the real headline?
Ironic that the tush push ban fell just short of getting over the line.
Just short. Who votes on this? It's the owners, right? It's not the coaches or anything. Because I saw people going in on McDonald on X the other day. I'm like, listen. It's not his doing. It's the owners.
We already know how they feel.
Yeah, I'm sure he provides some information to Jody and says, hey, this is how we feel about it. But no, I'm glad it didn't go through because I see no problem with this. Look, don't get to 31, don't get to 4th and 1. I know that's the common argument, but it's as simple as that. And defenses do better. Once someone gets the right personnel to combat that, then the offense is going to have to adjust. That's the name of the game, make adjustments. The Eagles just have the biggest offensive line known to man right now, and a quarterback who squats 1 million pounds. It works for them.
I'm surprised it got as close as it did, though. I will say it was
like
a
10
very...
off?
Huh?
Were they 10 votes off, I think?
Was it 10? Yeah. Well, I thought they had about 20, though, because you need 24, so maybe they had... Or maybe they weren't as close. I thought they were fairly
No, I think you're
close.
right. I think you're right.
And I'm surprised because publicly, the Packers have obviously been at the forefront of this, but you haven't heard the coaches and GMs that have talked about it say, granted, to your point, they didn't vote on it, but I don't know. I heard
McDermott complain about it.
Why?
Bills head coach, he complained about it.
Oh, because was he the one who said it's not a specialized play? Like you don't have to work hard at it?
Yeah.
It's just a stupid take. No offense to McDermott, who's a great head coach.
Yeah.
That's a bad take.
Then he also said guys get hurt. There's not been one injury. And then you look at Chris Jones after the tush push, he was on the sideline getting worked on, working on his neck or whatnot. Do you know how many those trainers are active during a regular football game? Someone's always getting looked at. I tweaked this, I'm hurt there. That's the nature of football. You're never going to make a play 100% safe in football, in any sport, honestly.
All aiding the runner should be illegal like it is in high school. No grabbing to keep someone upright. No ramming into them from behind. Stupid and should be illegal, says the 509.
Hey, you're entitled to your opinion, man. You're entitled.
Well, and what this clearly is just a workaround to ban the tush push because the Packers are angry that the tush push worked against them and they're mad that no one else could do the tush push. And if the Packers and other teams were successfully doing it, it would not be a rule proposal.
Yeah, this will pass. The Eagles will not just dominate the tush push for forever, right? A new team is going to have the right personnel and they're going to be able to do it. There are some things I would like to see, like who runs screens the best in the NFL? Like who hits on the screen?
What if you had to guess who runs screens well? If both of us had to guess, I'd say San Francisco is probably pretty good at them.
It'd be that type of offense. It'd be San Francisco, it'd be the Rams, it'd be the Vikings, it'd be Detroit.
Miami? I know they're a different kind of, they like to go downfield, but.
Miami, McDaniels comes from San Francisco.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. I would probably go with, I go with the Rams. I say they probably do it the best.
I'm going to say it's the 49ers.
All right. I wonder, there has to
3
be a
yards
stat
after
somewhere.
catch is crazy, so I'm just making like a very, very rough correlation.
So I'll look up just yards after the catch. And I mean, obviously it's not going to be completely accurate, but it'd give us something.
All right, we are going to take a look around the NFL. We ended up talking only about jinxes at 11:45 and did not get to some really good sound on the Mariners coaching staff, so that's coming up at 12:45. Don't go anywhere.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
What if the Mariners were fully healthy? They had their full complement of everybody in the rotation. You had Robles, you had Raleigh, Brash from the start of the year, I guess. 2. All of those guys are only worth 2 wins?
They're getting it done in a different kind of way. I mean, I think everything is worked out for a reason.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, what's up? It's Michael Bumpus for Silver Reef Casino. This weekend, any weekend, get in your car, go up I-5 North, get off on exit 260. That's where you will find Silver Reef Casino. It's a great place to get away and to recharge with some loved ones or just some friends. You're going to walk into their deluxe king rooms, going to have great views, free Wi-Fi, and tablets to keep you connected to what's going on around there. Also, great restaurants at Silver Reef Casino. You go downstairs to the steakhouse. I had a steak. It was awesome. And then go to the cantina if you want some Mexican food and a spice there. When you're done, if you're a golfer like me, man, play 18 at Loomis Trails Golf Course. There is water everywhere, so be prepared. Calm yourself down. You are going to lose golf balls. They also have great events. Beatles versus the Stones is coming up too, man. The secret is out about Silver Reef Casino. They got something for everybody. If you got nothing to do, this is what I want you to do. Go to silverreefcasino.com and book your stay today. That's silverreefcasino.com.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot, 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 and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot, 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 and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Synthetic Turf Northwest is now open in Fife, the South Sound headquarters for premium synthetic turf. They help homeowners with a turnkey solution, DIYers, and contractors and landscapers needing quality products. With premium turf in stock, expert advice, and pro installation services, everything you need is under one roof. Visit their new showroom off I-5 in Fife, Synthetic Turf Northwest. Supplies and installation expertise all in one place. Mention radio for up to $1,000 off. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com.
For down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
If you've ever wondered if there's something after death, Tyler Henry proves the answer is yes. Be part of his live audience readings and his jaw-dropping ability to connect with the departed at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, July 10th and Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Experience this evening of hope and healing, bringing peace and closure to loved ones. Tyler Henry proves our loved ones never leave us. Get tickets at muckleshootcasino.com.
Muckleshoot. I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. At Pella Windows and Doors, we pride ourselves on delivering top quality windows and doors that enhance the beauty and energy efficiency of your home. Our products are built to last with innovative designs and exceptional craftsmanship. Whether you're looking to upgrade your windows or install new doors, Pella has you covered.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Taking a look around the NFL, we're going to start in Vegas, looking in on how Geno Smith is doing at OTAs. The Athletics Raiders reporter Tashawn Reed tweeted, Raiders have close to full attendance at OTAs today. Only a couple players not practicing during the first play of 11-on-11 drills. Jeremy Chin picked off Geno Smith on a pass over the middle. Meanwhile, there are some positive updates with Geno looking pretty sharp in later practices, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like there are some fans that kind of like keeping an eye on, like, well, how's the trade working out for the Raiders in Seattle so far? So that's it. Geno picked off first play and then looked pretty sharp.
I remember when we're in the sports pit and you looked at me and go, Bump, did you hear what happened to Geno? I'm like,
I know. So
don't be hurt.
Then I felt bad.
It was an interception. I go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's going to throw like 10 of those during training camp. This is what happens. It's a new offense, new terminology, new receivers over there. The timing has to be worked out. I ain't stressing over no interception in training camp. It's going to happen. I just get through healthy. And then it sounds like guys are bought in, man. You say only a couple players aren't practicing. That's that new coach juice right there. Pete Carroll got him motivated.
According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the NFL is implementing a new player award. This is an annual award given out to the league's best offensive lineman. It's going to be called the Protector of the Year. To, according to NFL VP Troy Vincent, recognize the big fellas.
Thank you. Big fellas need some love, too. They need to be recognized. They're extremely important to the game, especially their quarterbacks. I would have called it the Bodyguard Award, though. The Bodyguard or something like, give it something cool.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I'm
like
saying?
Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston.
Exactly, right? But
That's
no.
Kevin Costner, right?
Yeah, it's Kevin Costner. Yeah, it's Kevin. Yeah. But no, it's good for the bigs to be recognized because the only time they are recognized is when they're jumping, false starts or holds or whatnot. This is big. This is long overdue. And I love that they're getting linemen to determine whether linemen should get the award. Don't leave it up to receivers or DBs or linebackers. No, get your linemen, get Walter Jones in there, get Big Ray in there, get Hutch in there, and let them decide.
I actually think this might be even for former offensive linemen, a very difficult award to hand out.
It is.
Because, you can make a case for, let's say it was best receiver, and you would just go, oh, Jamar Chase has this many yards. So he's the best.
We can look at sacks given up. You got to start there. Pressures given up. Then you look at penalties. But then it just comes down to film. You got to watch the film and see who's really elite.
I think this is going to be a challenge. That's a lot to go through. Next up, back to the tush push. The tush push would have been banned if 24 teams voted yes to the proposal. That didn't happen. 22 were against it. 10 voting against the ban. One of which was the Seahawks. So the 10 teams that voted against the ban are the Eagles, the Ravens, the Browns, the Lions, the Jags, the Dolphins, the Patriots, New Orleans Saints, New York Jets, and the Tennessee Titans. Those were the teams that said, leave it alone.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all for that. Leave it alone. Defense do better.
I am a little surprised that as many teams, it very nearly passed, again, fell 2 votes shy. I'm surprised as many teams voted. And I'm wondering how much of this is something like, we have a joint practice with the Packers and we want to be on good terms with them. Or, we have to, you know what I mean? Like, are these NFL owners coming in with real opinions about it as a football play?
I hope they are.
I don't think so.
I hope I don't think these owners are going into the meeting and not consulting with the football guys that they trust to run the team, their coaches, their general manager, whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's on them. They control the whole situation. So I'm sure there are situations where the coaches told them, look, we hate this thing, vote against it. And the owner's like, nah, man, you tripping. We've been doing this since 85.
On this week's edition of New Heights, a podcast with Jason and Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce says he's a fan of the NFL taking over holidays. As you guys know, the NFL having those Christmas games has been very controversial, especially with the NBA.
And I'm also just a fan of playing on more primetime times. Like, that's when I'm watching TV, and I like it when football's on television, so let's keep putting good football games on television when everybody's watching. I mean, I think it's just good for the game. Let's keep taking over all the holidays. We're taking over Thanksgiving, Christmas, NBA. You're never getting that back. I mean, it's the way it is.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Football's king. It is what it is. NBA, people are still going to watch your games.
Of course.
Yeah, but you guys play so many. And, football is a game or the type of game where the family sits down and watches the game. I'm sure some families do for basketball because it's such like a flowing game. It just gives a different feel, man. It's accept your role in this society, NBA. You are probably number 2. Football's number 1.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell announced the Buffalo Bills will be featured on HBO's Hard Knocks this summer during training camp. It's going to premiere in August. He also announced the NFC East will be the focus of in-season Hard Knocks. It'll feature all 4 teams in the division. I thought it would be the West.
The Bills are on Hard Knocks? I thought you had to be like a losing team.
No, typically that has been. You couldn't have a new coach, and you had to have missed the playoffs for 2 seasons.
So they're switching it up this year?
That was previous rules, but I guess this year they were like, who's going to do this?
We talked about it on Wyman and Bob yesterday. The new rule is you just have to have a first-year head coach is the only reason they wouldn't pick you. So they've opened the pool back up because the pool was so small and everybody was just saying no.
And really, you want to see how successful teams come to be, right? You want to see why the Bills are in the conference championship every year. So I like this. I was just confused for a second. Hold up.
No, you're right. That used to be the rule, was that you had to have not made the postseason for at least 2 seasons in a row, and you couldn't have had a new head coach.
Yeah.
But
switch it up.
And I don't mind that either, because to your point, I'd rather see a team that's interesting as opposed to a team that's just bad, because the Seahawks obviously are a team that didn't make the playoffs once again. They would have been eligible for Hard Knocks. I would have loved to see the Seahawks on that kind of, but there aren't a lot of teams like that where it's like, oh, they won 10 games. They're still really interesting. They were just eligible. Like those. You're not going to find many.
Nah, it was a tough.
I don't want to watch the Browns again.
Switch it up. Yeah. Let's see the Bills.
Let's see here. Next up, Colts owner Jim Irsay, who has led the team since 1997 and presided over the storied greatest eras, obviously with Peyton Manning, died on Wednesday. He was 65. I was surprised to see that news. Colts Chief Operating Officer Pete Ward said in a statement released by the team, Jim's dedication and passion for the Colts, in addition to his generosity, commitment to the community, and most importantly, love for his family, were unsurpassed. Peyton Manning also released a statement saying, I'm heartbroken to hear about Jim's passing. He was an incredibly generous and passionate owner. I will always be indebted to him for giving me my start in the NFL.
I was surprised and I wasn't at the same time. Unfortunately, he's lived like a rough life, rough socially. I mean, obviously he's rich and has a lot of money. It's always sad when you hear someone passing. Again, I was surprised, but not at the same time.
Next up here, Detroit Lions star Aiden Hutchinson says he's fully cleared to return for football activities. The good news for him is he says he didn't have any setbacks during his lengthy rehab process. But again, getting back from that fractured tibia and fibula injury in week 6, he said, I'm rolling with the boys now. Feels like I'm back to being myself again.
Good news for him, bad news for the NFC, man, because I don't see the Detroit Lions going many places. You do have to replace your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator, but there are guys who've been promoted who can kind of keep the same philosophy and culture going. I remember seeing videos of him running. He's trying to make it back if they were to go to the Super Bowl, and it just hurt my stomach because you could tell, like, it just isn't right. And the injury is just so unfortunate. He's trying to make a play, and his leg just collides with another leg, and boom, it just happens so quickly.
Yeah, the Lions season, I think if you go back, I don't know who from the NFC is routinely going to beat the Eagles. Like, that team was very stacked. And Jalen started playing his best ball at the right time, right? His, 3 best games as a passer were, the final 3 games of the season that he played. Or 3, I should say, as a quarterback, since in a couple of those he was rushing quite a bit. But that being said, I wonder what the Lions' season would have looked like. The win column was fine, but you saw the holes and you saw the issues rear their head with that lengthy injury list, particularly on defense. I wonder how far they could have gone.
They were banged up.
I mean, if they had Aiden out there, I wonder if they could have done it.
They need more than him. One player ain't going to shift a football game like that, but it definitely helps. I think that sometimes you just get unlucky in football. It's not a matter of if you get hurt, is when you get hurt and how many of your guys are going to get banged up. And that's what happened with these guys. So I'm happy that he's back. I'm just more interested to see what the team looks like with the coordinators being gone. Does Dan Campbell did he put the right guys in place to keep this thing up? Because it's been fun to watch in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been really, really fun. That division also really tough. It's so funny. You have two teams, one with 15 wins, one with 14 from last year, and the Lions and the Vikings respectively. And you have no idea whether they're touching those totals or what they're going to look like.
And then you got the Bears, who've gotten better on paper.
Right, and never mind the Packers out here going, hey, I don't know if you guys saw, but
best division in football right now.
Yeah, right now. Well, I mean, but you also were like, they were also the team that kind of fell off quickly once they got to the postseason. So they were kind of like, not by no means paper tigers, but they racked up. They were the winningest division, but the NFC East was the one that ended up going the furthest. Those two teams.
Yep.
NFC is just fascinating. All right, we got a lot of Mariners talk to get to. Back to Fort on territory at 1:15. Hype train at 1:30. Coming up next, is the coaching staff responsible for the change we're seeing with the Mariners? Don't go anywhere.
Kirby looks in, has a sign from Raleigh.
He's back.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for George Kirby.
Just in time as the first-place Mariners start a 3-game set in Houston against an Astros team right on their heels.
Swing and a miss. He is dealing time.
Hear George Kirby's season debut tonight. First pitch at 5:10 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
The Mariners are back in action at T-Mobile Park, and you could be there for big moments all summer long with a Flex membership. Flex plans are perfect for fans who want the freedom to choose their games and seats as they go, while still enjoying all the perks of being a member, like saving 10% or more on tickets with no fees, unlocking access to exclusive pre-sales and year-round discounts, and so much more. Join the squad today at mariners.com/flex.
Now Raleigh wins it in the 10th inning for the Mariners.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed a musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and great news this August. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yes, the hotel is finally opening. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience at snocasino.com. Breathtaking views of the Cascades in Snoqualmie Valley, an expanded non-smoking gaming floor, awesome destination spa, a 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yes, new food venues, restaurants as well. You can book at snocasino.com, Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Dave Wyman here with an incredibly special guest, the mayor of the city of Lacey, Andy Ryder. Andy's a proud Seattle sports listener and recently underwent successful treatment for prostate cancer. His treatment method? Swedish cyberknife. Andy, tell us about your treatment.
The entire treatment was just 5 days, less than an hour a day. I spent more time commuting to the appointment than actually being in treatment.
Any side effects during or after?
I've had very few side effects. I've been very lucky to not have some of the side effects that I was worried about with other treatments.
What would you say to anyone considering prostate cancer treatment?
I'm feeling very confident about my treatment with CyberKnife, and I absolutely recommend it for anyone who has been diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Thank you, Andy, and congratulations. Reach out to Swedish Cyberknife directly. You don't even need a referral. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
You're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Is the coaching staff responsible for the change with the Mariners? It's a question we've been not even talking around this year, but kind of actively wondering without a ton of proof so far, other than stories from people and kind of what they're seeing. Clearly, there's a level of player execution and training and luck and stuff that goes into it. But look, you got a new manager. You have a new hitting staff. These are factors that you have to talk about. Harold Reynolds was on with Brock and Salk this morning and was asked about this, as well as whether or not he's been surprised by the Mariners. We're going to get to that second part coming up in 15. First, Bump. Harold Reynolds, his thoughts on Dan Wilson as a manager so far.
Well, number one, I think he's really built a new culture of inviting guys back. I mean, you see Jay Buhner around a lot more. You see the influence of Griffey's conversations. Edgar, I think that's a big part. I think, you know, we're in a time where analytics has really driven the game quite a bit. And with that, you end up taking out a lot of the players, and it goes more to AI and everything else. I think Dan's really recognized that. He's opened the culture. I know spring training, the vibe was totally different. The players will tell you. I think he's been a little bit more inviting to the history of the club.
Do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, that plays a factor into it. It's that's something that Pete Carroll did a great job of doing, right? Guys were always at practice. Former players, I wouldn't say influencers, like there's people who are influencers in the game, not like social media. Thank you, influential people. I think that is part of it. I think there's something that happens when there's a change with the coaching staff. Either they come in and the players aren't vibing with them and play kind of falls a bit, or they come in and they just buy into everything that they're saying. It sounds like they're buying in. End of the day, if you don't have the Jimmys and the Joes, it don't matter who the coach is going to be. But the coach, especially at the professional level, you're just nudging them in the right direction. All these guys can play, or they wouldn't even be here. Even the White Sox, believe it or not, even the Colorado Rockies have a couple dudes on that roster who can play. So it's you give the coaches credit because they are the ones who have to connect, get people to buy into their philosophy. But at the end of the day, it's up to the players to go out there and execute.
It is. They are executing, which is the good news. Harold Reynolds sees a lot of Kevin Seitzer and Edgar's effect there.
Oh, I see a lot. I see a lot of Kevin. I see a lot of Edgar. I think the main thing I see is putting the ball in play at all costs. And he was the guy that would shoot the ball the other way a lot. His approach was to right field, but it was really more line drives. And if you look at the Atlanta Braves teams, the last, 8 years he was there, high offense, they made contact, they're aggressive, they attack.
As to what makes those two very influential outside of obviously the impact and influence and history of Edgar here, it's this.
And the biggest thing was they played every day. And, that's a mindset that comes like, hey, you're teeing it up. And I know that was what Kevin grew up in. That's what most of us grew up in. And I think that's a teaching point. Like, you're not going to give up that spot. You might get a couple hits today. Or even Julio, you may not think you're hitting right now, but you're affecting everybody else in the lineup by the pitches they get. So I think that's what Kevin brings to the table quite a bit.
I thought that was maybe not the most interesting part of Harold's comments, but in terms of the impact of the coaches, it was the mindset that these two bring. Like, I've always thought, like, what are they unlocking?
Mm-hmm.
What are the hitting secrets they're offering? And it's like, well, they played every day.
Yeah.
And they're bringing the idea of chip away, chip away.
You only get better and you only prove your enhance one's philosophy or whatnot if you go out there and you practice it every single day. That's how you get guys to buy in. One of the ways you get guys to buy in is that, look, you go out there every day and you do what I'm telling you, and I promise you eventually you're going to start seeing success. So now you're out there every day. You start to feel that success. Now you want to be out there every day because you want to keep the snowball effect going. I think that's extremely important. I also think that it's important for guys in the order to realize is how their at-bats affects the next guy's at-bats. And maybe that's something they tapped into as well. I don't know if Service and his guys weren't preaching that. I'm sure they did because it's baseball, right? But maybe these guys are preaching it in a different way that just sticks. I've coached teams to where I felt like nothing I said was sticking. Like, maybe I'm not communicating it properly. They're not doing the things that I'm asking them to do consistently. And it's up to the coaches to try to find ways to understand their player so it makes sense and so it sticks. That's the main thing I think is happening here because, Dan knows baseball. Service knows baseball. I don't think there are managers throughout the league who are just so above and beyond other managers because of just the way that baseball is played. It's not like football. Andy Reid poops on a lot of offensive coordinators, right? Because he's been in the game for so long, and you directly affect every single game. In baseball, they're called managers for a reason. They're just managing the situation. So there's something that this staff is doing that I feel like is allowing these guys to play more free, to be aggressive. We talked to Ryan, and Julio's swinging at 53% of the first pitches, but he's having success. And that's something that we talked about last year. Like, why is he swinging at every first pitch? There's something that's connected with these guys. I wish I could be in the room when they're having these conversations.
Did you ever have a coach kind of unlock something with you? Something you were struggling with that for some reason that coach was able to tap into it?
Yeah, I didn't have too many coaches, right? I only played high school, college, and then NFL, CFL. But I remember the first time I ran a route the way that my coach wanted me to run it. It was a simple route. It was a speed out. So in speed out, you take, say the ball's to the left side of me, so my inside foot is up. You take 1, 2, and you start rolling on your third step. And most routes back then, everything was a lot linear and square. So that's the way I would run my speed out. I would try to get to 5 and square it, 5 and square it. And I'm having success running it. And he said something to me. He was like, fall into the route instead of trying to be sharp at the top. And that's all he said was fall into the route. And I started rolling that thing so smooth, and it just worked. So that's coach's job, is to figure it out. I'm sure he wasn't saying fall into the route to Brandon Gibson, another player who I had, or Jason Hill. He's probably saying something else to him. So that's what coaches are supposed to do. And that was my moment. I remember it was late into my freshman year. It was cold as heck, and I did it at practice, and he stopped practice. That's what I'm talking about. Fall into it. And ever since then, that's how I coach now. Fall into it until I get a player where it doesn't click, and I got to find a different key word to make it stick for him.
Did you ever have a coach that you, for some reason, struggled to trust, or maybe it didn't make sense at first?
Ooh, yeah. I ain't saying his name, but yeah.
Were you right about him?
Yes. I was right about
In that case, it was more of like, and I was right the whole time.
I told y'all about that dude.
It's always interesting how the exact same player with different coaches or different voices, sometimes it's just a matter of something like that. Like, it's clear that Julio trusts Edgar, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's clear that, and I'm not saying that they didn't trust their previous hitting coaches, but I would wager that trust is a factor in what they've been able to do with these guys.
You got to connect. You got to find something that you guys have in common and just use that to gain the trust of your athlete.
All right, we're going to stick with some comments from Harold Reynolds. Lots of good stuff here. Why he's been surprised by the Mariners, coming up next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
What if the Mariners were fully healthy? They had their full complement of everybody in the rotation. You had Robles, you had Raleigh, Brash from the start of the year, I guess, 2. All of those guys are only worth 2 wins?
They're getting it done in a different kind of way. I mean, yeah, I think everything is worked out for a reason.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Cal Raleigh with a home run.
And he's on Seattle Sports Thursday afternoons all season long.
Anytime you can get wins, that's always huge.
It's the Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come work with IRG. And Shannon, what kind of staff are you looking for at IRG?
Brock, we're looking for all kinds of clinical staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, athletic trainers, certified occupational therapy technicians, physical therapy assistants, you name it on the clinical side. We are looking for those folks. But we are really looking for folks that want to come to an organization that want to be part of our culture and change the culture and work with us to provide the best care and service we can to our patients, our team, and our community. So those clinical people out there, we're looking for you. We also provide advanced certification. We want to provide you mentorship. We want you to grow personally and professionally here at IRG.
And with over 40 clinics throughout the Pacific Northwest, you've got the opportunity to work in the city you want. Just head over to irgpt.com/careers. That's irgpt.com/careers.
Lake Washington Windows and Doors makes it easy to enjoy new windows with clean glass technology now and defer paying for them until 2026 with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's orchard.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners open a series against the Astros at 5:10 p.m. tonight. Pregame show at 4 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports. Meanwhile, it's Game 2 between the T-Wolves and OKC. Tip-off at 5:30. Minnesota looking for its first win. Finally, a quick look around MLB's scoreboard. Padres and Blue Jays tied up for all end of regulation going into extras.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Bump, are you surprised by the Mariners? Just a number of things. Pick your poison. Is anything in particular about the Mariners especially surprising you?
Yeah.
What?
I would say the number of bombs they're hitting is surprising to me. Yeah, I didn't expect them to be, what are they, like top 5 or 6 or something in MLB when it comes to bombs. That's surprising. I expected Cal to kind of do his thing. I expected Randy to kind of continue what he started last year. But as a team, I look at him, and just because I heard what the philosophy was supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be a team that just puts the ball in play, you manufacture runs, and you're good to go. Actually, they're sixth in MLB with 66 bombs. I think just how explosive they've been. Dang, New York had 83 of them things. Goodness gracious. But, yeah, just the amount of bombs that they're hitting is surprising to me.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised by, if I were to make a list, 1, 2, 3, number 1 would probably be Jorge Polanco. And it's not that he hasn't been a solid player, but he hasn't necessarily been this productive. Like last year, he struck out 29% of the time was his strikeout rate for the season. That was a career high. So we know he wasn't as bad last year as his profile would typically indicate as a player, but he also was not like, OPSing over 1,000 kind of player for the start of the season. So I've been surprised by his start. I've also been surprised that they have been able to withstand the injuries that they have, particularly to their starting arms. I did not think this offense would be good enough to overcome this. And in fact, if you were to tell me, without showing me the record, without showing me anything else, if you were to say, hey, the Mariners, let's take today out of it when Kirby comes back. The Mariners don't have Kirby, they don't have Gilbert, they don't have Bryce Miller. What place are they in the AL West?
Third.
Yes, I would have assumed that the A's have actually been quite a bit worse than they have, and the Angels obviously haven't been great. Then they're probably going to finish last, and I would have said they're third.
Yeah,
and that would have been my guess.
Yeah, because it goes against everything that we thought to be true about these guys, right? We thought, all right, offensively they could be good enough to win some close games, but if you don't have the same luck you had a couple years ago with your arms, there's no way this team is going to be in it. I saw someone text in, and they said, I would like your take on this. That person said the Mariners are better because of their injuries. And I think they're saying that because it allows for growth and development. In the long run, they could be better because Logan got his reps, Emerson got his reps, Ben Williamson has been called up. You had to go acquire Tavares. Like, because of the injuries, you've made moves which have allowed this team to develop, and they're playing some good baseball. The only pushback I would say to that is if Robles was healthy, if Gilbert was healthy, if Kirby was healthy, if Brash was healthy, I mean, the way they're playing now, this team could be on fire. I mean, they could have 3 or 4 more wins under their belt. I understand that train of thought because it allows for depth to be developed, but there's nothing like having your ones out there.
I don't think that this White Sox series is close if Logan and George are healthy and playing, for instance. Like, I think that you had a bullpen day, which was actually solid, and then you obviously, yesterday gave up far more hits and runs than you'd like. And credit Zach, who in the sports pit said, look, bad teams are going to get their home runs.
Yeah.
Because you're just pitching them. You're not fearful of them. And I see what this texter's saying. I totally get it in terms of like and in theory, you could look at it and go, Logan's more rested when he's coming back and you could make a push. But I'm more just kind of gobsmacked that they've been able to succeed in spite of them. Harold Reynolds is also surprised by the Mariners.
Tell you what, I'm surprised. I really am. Beginning of the year, I thought that's really what we were going to get. No offense, great pitching, but they've really turned it around. I got to give them credit. I mean, it's been fun to watch.
So let's talk about what he's seen from some of these guys, and we will start with Cal Raleigh.
Well, obviously the power is the first thing everybody's going to look at, but the innings he's logging behind the plate, healthy, making all the calls, making all the plays long. That's why I was kind of leaning yesterday like, hey, he's going to have to get some time to just pick the right days off so he can be able to keep and sustain this the whole year. And I think having Dan Wilson really benefits him. With Dan's been there, he's been through that grind of the season, what it takes to win a championship. And I'm sure Dan, as most players, probably fought for days off. Like, I don't want to be off. But he looked back and realized later it's probably the best thing. So I think they're going to have to pick days for Cal.
They are, and that's the one thing with Cal that I know I hear on every broadcast, and we're going to keep hearing it, is just when can you get this guy some more regular rest? Because I'm going to wager without looking that he's leading catchers in plate appearances.
My man played in 153 games last year. 153. Year before, 145. So it's been a steady ascend. It was at 2022, 119, then 145, then 153. So this tells me one thing or two things, that obviously he's that important to the lineup. And also he wants to be out there. He does not want days off. But you have to it's almost like when I get advice from my older friends when it comes to investing and saving money. They're like, look, listen, you get to my age, you want to have this, and this lined up. This is what you do now. And I'm like, man, but I want that extra $1,000 to go trick it off and do something. Like, nah, take this and put it there. It's almost like Dan has to treat it like that we're investing in you and your future. We want to save as many innings as we can, so then later on in your career, your body is just feeling better. That's the way he has to look at it. But as a 28-year-old, healthy young man who feels like you're invincible, I've been there. You just want to keep going and keep grinding and keep grinding. The messed up part about this is he is that important to this lineup right now. If he's not in it, you lose some pop. You lose something. There's a balance that needs to be there. I hope he doesn't play 153 this year. I hope you find some time. And maybe that comes with these guys going on a win streak and separating themselves from the division and saying, all right, if we have to drop one because Cal's not in, let's roll the dice and drop this one.
Let's go to this cut. I like this conversation a lot. We talked a lot about what would be important for us for the Mariners. And before the season started, we would ask Ryan and Gary and a number of Mariners broadcasters, hey, what does early success look like? And all of us settled on, A, be above 500, and B, don't let yourself fall into a hole. And it's funny to look back at that conversation now. They're leading the AL West. They are by no means in a hole, but I think that they surpassed so many of our expectations. The reason that we just thought, don't let yourself fall back, is that early success can trigger more success. Harold Reynolds talked a lot about what early success does for a team.
Oh, it's huge. Over the 162 games, it kind of sets the trend for the rest of the summer. Nobody likes to get out the gate slow. Then you're fighting the whole way through the season. You can almost get out of the gate fast like they're doing right now, and ride it. You don't want to get into a lull, but you turn the corner. There's a 5-game losing streak coming for everybody in 162 games. Look what the Dodgers are going through. You're gonna go through it, but if you already have that great out the gate mindset, you're winning games, you know how to win games, that sustains you when you go through that one bad stretch that's coming.
Bump, what can early success do for a team?
Well, it gives you confidence, right? But then it gives you a cushion, right? I'm glad he brought up the Dodgers, not because they're my team, just because, I mean, obviously, I got love for them. But they got off to a 8-0 start.
Yeah.
An 8-0 start. So now in their last, there's a skid they're in, 4-game skid. They lost, 3, got swept by the Angels, and then lost to the Diamondbacks. They've won 2. Because of that 8-0 start, that 5-game skid or 4-game skid ain't hurting like it would if they started off 3-7 and didn't have the bounce back. I mean, they've won 8 in a row, and then they have another stretch where they won another like 6 or 7 in a row, 6 in a row. So those what those streaks do for you, because the inevitable is you're going to lose multiple games in a row. There are too many games being played. There are too many good pitchers out there. Other factors that get into this thing to where you're going to do that. So what does a fast start do to you? It gives you confidence. It gives you a cushion, because at the end of the day, the best teams in the game are going to hit a low point in the season.
Yeah, I just kind of think too of we had, I believe, Jason Churchill on. I don't know if it was during spring training. It was during the off season, and we were talking about the Mariners missing the playoffs, the importance of fast starts, and all these things that we learned. And if I'm remembering correctly, Jason pointed to, I want to say, Cleveland, if I'm remembering correctly. And basically he was like, look, when you look at these two teams statistically, you're going to find that Cleveland is kind of that example of a Mariners-esque team where they aren't necessarily leading in a million categories. Like they almost look like a statistical outlier when you start grouping them in with the Yankees, or if you were to take a broader look at the league as a whole, like the Phillies, or some of these like clearly elite lineups or elite offensive teams or whatever. But they did enough consistently, and you can look at the Mariners at the end of the year and say, oh, they just missed the playoffs by a few games. But you find these big gaps where they just flailed and couldn't find themselves. So rather than each month, like they just tacked on, right? They accomplished something. They took a step forward. They grew. That's what Cleveland was able to do. Overall, baseball's volatile in general, but that he just wanted to see consistency, even if the consistency was just above average. You know what I mean? You're not running away with anything, but if you can consistently be just above average, that ends up being a monumentally more successful season by the end of the year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, consistency allows you to understand like what you're working with. All right, consistently above average means that you're going to be in most games. You're not going to win all of them, but you will be in most games. And that's all you want to do when you have the staff and the bullpen that the Mariners have. You want to be in the game. You want to get to a spot where you are getting a quality start from your starter, that you're up 1 or 2 runs. Like, I was listening to Gary during the postgame yesterday, and he said it perfectly. Once Munoz gets the ball, you feel like this is a wrap. Munoz is going to handle business. He's going to save the day, and we'll be good to go. So that's what being consistently above average does, is that you put your best guys out there. You get to a spot where Munoz has the ball and you feel good about it. You get to a spot where your starter's getting deep into the game, and he's deep into the game because he's getting run support, right? That's what being consistently above average looks like to me. Because you have the arms that you do have with your rotation and your bullpen, especially Munoz, and you're going to have a chance. And that's all a team wants at the end of the day. Do we have a chance to win this ball game? You're not going to win them all, but you're in position to make some noise.
Harold Reynolds on how he evaluates a team after a game.
I first go to see how many pitchers did they use, because that game is now over, and I'm thinking about tomorrow's game. That's how I look at one. If I go back and look at the game that was just played, obviously you're going to look at the scoreboard and see how things happen. But I always want to look at hits. How many hits did you get? How, and then you look at errors. How many mistakes you made? And a lot of times that doesn't even show up, particularly as you guys know, you go watch your kids' games, right? And then you're talking to them, and you got to put things in perspective. And I think that's the best thing that happens as you get older. You're able to see things from a different lens and perspective-wise. Like, hold it, you hit 3 balls on the nose. I know you didn't get any hits, but you swung back great. And that's what builds to the next day. If you didn't, then we got work to do, you know? So that perspective has always helped, and I think that's kind of how I look at the Major League game, too.
I love his answer.
Yeah.
Bump, how are you evaluating the Mariners' short-term windows? You know what I mean? Like when we're watching this series coming up tomorrow and into the weekend against the Astros, like how do you take a short-term look at how you're grading the Mariners?
Well, always with this team, I think you grade every team differently, right? With the Yankees or Dodgers, like strikeouts ain't going to be a big thing to you because, you know, they have so much power in that lineup. But for the Mariners, that's one of the first things I look at. How many times did they strike out, especially at the top of the order? Then I look at, obviously, pitching, right? How deep did the starter get into the game? Was he supported with runs or whatnot? With the Astros, it's always different for me because there are some teams and some games that you know are going to be tough regardless, right? So did they get the win or not? Did you win the series? For sure. And then you start breaking down little situations, right? What do they look like with runners in scoring position? How many 12 RBIs did we get there? Those are like clutch moments for me. How clutch were they in those moments? First pitches, right? Were the pitchers getting ahead in the count? Right? There are little things that you look at that are standard that most people evaluate or look at when they're evaluating baseball teams. But for this squad, it's all Ks for me. All right, if the Ks are low, I know this team, they're at least squaring things up, they're barreling it up, and they're giving themselves a chance to put the ball in play. That's huge for me. And then we just talked to Jordan. He's talking about, look, the pitching ain't all that great with Houston right now. So if the pitching isn't all that great with your opponent and you're still striking out at a high clip, now I'm concerned. If you're not producing runs or you're just getting unlucky and your Ks are low, that's just baseball. Things happen that way.
Hype train 15 minutes away right now. Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
4 rounds today, not 4 downs, and that means we're taking a look at a couple other leagues. First down to the NBA. Who will be the X factor in the Western and Eastern Conference Finals?
All right, let's start in the East. In the East is going to be the coaching. It's going to be the coaching in the East because we know that the Pacers like to push the ball. They will push it up and down the court, and we know that the Knicks don't go deep into their bench. So it's a perfect formula for the Pacers to have success. We're going to push the ball, we're going to run you, we're going to be tired, and we're going to play 10 or 11 guys. With the Knicks, all right, what are you going to do to stop the pace? And are you going to get deep into your bench because you know the Pacers' tempo is up there? So in the East, I'm looking at the coaching. What adjustments are you going to make? And then the Pacers need one more player to step up over there. In the East, I'm looking at the West. I'm looking at the West, and it's all about the bigs, man. You know that Shai Gilgeous is averaging, 32.7 in the playoffs right now. You know Anthony Edwards is averaging 27 in the playoffs right now. Chet Holmgren and Rudy Gobert have to step up and have themselves a game. Chet, I can't wait until he fully develops. He's so skinny out there, so thin. Like he puts on like 10 more pounds, like I see Wembley doing, and they start looking more like Giannis, even though they're a bit taller. It's going to help their game, but with Rudy Gobert, he's got to look like the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year that he has been. And there are times where he looks like that. So you got to defend there. And Chet, he just has to drop points. He needs a game where he's dropping 20, 25 points and taking some pressure off of the powers that be. So those are my keys. In the West, it's about the bigs. In the East, it's all about coaching and adjusting your game to what the ops are doing.
Do you think there's pressure on Anthony Edwards to establish himself as like that dude? It's not that he's fame-wise, sure. You know,
I think he's already done some things in a Timberwolves uniform that even Kevin Garnett wasn't able to do. As to go back-to-back years, winning just one series, let alone getting to the conference championship. I think if he were to get to the finals, that's his moment. He's completely arrived. I think he's on the rise. There's young talent in the East and the West. Like there are no established superstars, minus I guess SGA because obviously it's the MVP in both of these series. Like these are both young teams. Jalen Brunson over there. You got Halliburton over there. I mean, it's just this is the new school taking over, and everyone has an opportunity to establish himself. It's not just Anthony Edwards. I think he is the popular name because of his play and his personality. Let's not sleep on SGA. He's an MVP. But both sides have young ballers who have a chance to establish themselves.
Second down. Whose legacy do you need to be held intact with a championship?
Yeah, man. So I've been watching playoff hockey. If you haven't been watching, I hope you guys do watch it. It's a different level. Once it's the playoffs, man, hockey's crazy. And I'm looking at the Western Conference Finals, man. And Connor McDavid is one of the best hockey players to ever do this. You don't have to be a hockey person to look at him dangle and do his thing and realize he is just different. He moves different. His vision is different. I need him to win a championship. I do not want him to be one of these greats who have never been able to get it done. I think his legacy is going to be fine because the stats are going to be crazy. He's going to chase Gretzky in a lot of these things. He's going to chase Ovi in a bunch of these things, all the greats. But I want him to get a championship. He's been a league MVP. He's been the highest point getter. He's been voted as the best player in the league by his peers. He's been a captain for 5 seasons with the Oilers. I just need him to get a championship. They're down 1-0 to Dallas right now. He's got to bounce back. It's a team sport, obviously. There's 3 lines out there, but I'm just saying, Connor McDavid, if you guys want to root for anybody who's not on the Kraken, go watch this man play, and you'll see within 2 minutes how special he is, and you might get on board with this.
Third down, third round. What rookie do you feel can have a huge impact and not play on offense or defense? This one actually football, though. So
this is actually football, so we'll call it. Yeah, this could be third down.
Third down.
Ricky White III. Now, he is a receiver out of UNLV, but he also has 3 blocked kicks in his college career. And some guys just have just the it factor when it comes to special teams. I know a guy by the name of Eric Frampton who played like 6 years in the NFL, just running down on special teams and knocking dudes out. This guy has a skill. He blocks kicks. Now, you remember last year you had Cody White against the Los Angeles Rams get activated from the practice squad. He blocks a kick. He makes a big catch. It was awesome, man. And then next year he's not active.
Yeah.
Next week it wasn't active. Yeah, it was wild. But you need these type of players, man. These are the type of guys who hang around for a while. And when you're in that receiver room, because it's so crowded over there. I know it doesn't feel like it's crowded because you got your 3 headliners, but you got some other guys behind them. You got Horton out of Colorado State who's going to be competing for time as well. Don't forget Jake Bobo. You got Derek Young over there. They just signed another undrafted free agent. It's crowded. Where can you or how can you get on the field? It's special teams. He's going to block 1 or 2 kicks this year.
Okay. That feels like a jinx.
Get aggressive.
Can I just say that feels like a jinx? I think Bump jinxed him. No, just me.
That's just a prediction.
But I thought jinxes weren't even real.
They aren't
How
real.
can you do something if it's not real?
Fourth down.
Fourth down. I'm saying fourth down.
Ian. What's something Dave Lyman said that you agree and disagree with?
Wyman, my OG, my big homie. There's all love and respect. My man said, essentially, why send NFL players to the Olympics to compete in flag football? That's for the guys who didn't make it. And I agree with him. It's like, why would you want to put your biggest investment out there, or one of your biggest investment out there, and risk injury? Understood. Wyman, I want to take you back to when the U.S. lost to the Soviet Union in the 80s or early 90s. Basketball. We ain't talking hockey. We got him in hockey. Miracle, right? I'm talking basketball. Dave, how did you feel then? To the Soviets. We lost to them, all right? And then you get to the late 90s, early 2000s. We sent some college kids to go play, and we lose again.
You're just giving them the Cold War.
We're giving. Dave, hear me out. Just for one Olympics, let's send our best out there and dominate.
Exactly.
And then we say, look, then we'll send the little homies out there after that, and the fear will be there. So if we were to lose the Olympics after that, all we got to do is push a button like, y'all know what's up. Yeah. Don't make me send Pat.
Yeah.
Don't make me send Justin Jefferson.
That's our
Don't
nuke.
make me do it. That's our nuke. So I'm saying, Dave, come on, get with me, man. I know you played a long career, dog. I know, I get it. But I bet you would want to be out there. If the Olympics were flag Olympics, Dave, you would want to be out there, Dave. Come on, man. Let's go.
If the USA team could choose one of us, all the hosts, all the producers, to be on the team that would give them the best shot to gold,
it's probably Brock. Because quarterbacks don't have to move that much. Like, we're older.
Yeah, he does have a
quarterback.
heck of
You just
arm.
stand there and just read the defense.
Okay, what if we take
let
Brock
it go.
off the table?
It's me.
What?
Yeah. It's me. You know what? You would thrive in the manager role, Stacy, just like you did for the volleyball team.
I was going to say, this is exactly what they did in 8th grade when they offered me. They were like, no, we're going to make you volleyball manager instead. It's so much better than being a player.
Yeah.
And I really thought, like, I am so good they can't even have me on the court.
But you have something that I think you like. Control.
Being the boss. Oh, you're right.
There you go.
You guys know me so well. I'm going to design our uniforms.
There you go.
All right, get your questions in for what I need to know coming up at 45 after 866-979-3776. We're going to get to Hype Train right now. What's on tonight?
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
Matt, this looks like an edited read.
No, this is all you. I don't know what you're talking about.
The Mariners are taking on the Astros tonight, which is what it would normally say. Also, strangely, George Kirby on the mound and I, Stacy Rost, am already putting us on no-hitter watch.
Wow, Stacy's already jinxing the game. That's
already.
I can't believe she'd do that. That's
pitch.
wow. For sure.
Hey, if the first pitch is a bomb.
No, because I don't think it's going to be a no-hitter.
You said it.
I mean, you just said that we're on no-hitter watch.
No.
You were the one that put us on no-hitter watch, Stacey.
No, we're not on no-hitter watch. I'm taking it off.
No, you can't take us off no-hitter watch when we're already on no-hitter watch.
I did earlier say that every game should start with a no-hitter banner.
Well, why are you so concerned if jinxes aren't real? You should be fine.
Yeah, jinxes aren't real, so it's totally fine.
Because you guys are using something that is very likely to happen, which is a pitcher giving up a hit, as a way to prove that jinxes are real, which I think they are not.
What if he gives up a bomb first?
He probably will.
First batter.
Well, probably not the first batter.
First batter. If there's
he
a
hasn't
bomb,
had a spring training. It's
first
going to be
batter,
an up and down outing.
You know what? I hope that the Mariners win this game. I hope Kirby tosses up a meatball and the Astros go yard first at AB.
But I didn't.
You did it.
No,
and it'll all be Stacy's fault.
That proves absolutely nothing. Okay, what if he does throw a no-hitter? First of all, he's not going to throw a no-hitter because they're going to take him out of the game.
Well, you just jinxed that, so.
Wow. Stacy just does
The
not
only
want the
jinx
Mariners
I tried
to win.
was that the Mariners will win as like a thought experiment. But again, I stand by my reasoning.
You should. Live your life.
Thank you. Get your questions in for what I need to know. 866-979-3776. Hype Train coming your way next.
Kirby looks in, has a sign from Raleigh.
He's back.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for George Kirby.
Just in time as the first place Mariners start a 3-game set in Houston against an Astros team right on their heels.
Swing and a miss. He is dealing time.
Hear George Kirby's season debut tonight. First pitch at 5:10 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Tyrese live at Muckleshoot Event Center, Sunday, July 13th, 8 p.m. You've seen him on the screen. You've heard him on the radio. Now see him live for an unforgettable night. Get tickets before they sell out at muckleshootcasino.com. Tyrese, only at Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Synthetic Turf Northwest is now open in Fife, the South Sound headquarters for premium synthetic turf. They help homeowners with a turnkey solution, DIYers, and contractors and landscapers needing quality products. With premium turf in stock, expert advice, and pro installation services, everything you need is under one roof. Visit their new showroom off I-5 in Fife, Synthetic Turf Northwest. Supplies and installation expertise all in one place. Mention radio for up to $1,000 off. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Celebrate 50 seasons of Seahawks football at Lumen Field and take your game day to the next level with premium hospitality and incredible views. Host a one-of-a-kind event in a private game day suite or get front row access with sideline and end zone field seats. For more on how to elevate your game day at Lumen Field, visit Seahawks.com/premium.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What I need to know coming your way in 15. Get your questions in 866-979-3776. Any question you have, text it right now. Right now, let's head to the station for Hype Train. Mariners wrapping up their road trip with a series against the Astros in a 4-game sweep is called a what? A mop.
A mop?
A mop, yes. The Mariners will finish their road trip with a mop, a 4-game sweep of the Astros.
With a mop. You know, as much as I want to get on this train, listen, this is baseball, man. Those are the Astros.
I don't blame you.
There's enough there. Pena's having a good year. Altuve's all right. He ain't doing nothing crazy, but they win ball games. You know, I'm not going to disrespect them completely. Like, I don't like them. I can't rock with them. Can't have a beer with them. But it's the Astros. And I'm trying to see if they've even ever lost 4 in a row this year, and I do not see it. So,
the Astros?
Yeah, haven't lost 4 in a row at all this year. So, no, it ain't going down. I ain't on that train.
Matt. Mariners will finish their road trip with a 4-game sweep of the Astros.
I'm on this train.
I love that.
And I'm on this train because I'm jinxing it. I don't want them to win.
You don't want them to win?
Nah.
Matt.
Doesn't matter to me.
Oh, my God.
I'm not facing next week. It's whatever.
Okay, fine. Ian.
I'm going to go with the reverse
You guys are all
jinx.
too afraid of jinxes now. You need
Reverse
to get
jinx,
them out
no
of your
sweep.
brain. They're not
Yeah.
real. Just
They're
say
not
how
gonna
you
sweep.
feel.
They're not going to sweep for the reverse jinx.
Okay, so
'cause I
you're
want them to
offsetting
sweep.
Matt. So
Yeah.
now what's going to happen is exactly what was going to happen in the universe, which is that they are not going to sweep the Astros mop for a 4-game sweep. I'm not boarding this one. I think that this is going to be an up and down battle. I do feel good about a series win, even a split.
Yeah.
But
We can win.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
starting
not
out-
mad at a split either.
If you were to tell me, oh, on this, road trip, they're going to lose 1 game, it's going to be to the White Sox, and they're going to sweep the Astros and Padres, I feel like you're absolutely insane.
You're crazy.
Not that that can't happen, but no, I don't think it's going to happen. Next up. Okay, Pacers. I see you. I respect you. I receive you. Tyrese Halliburton ties it up with a jumper last second. So this one goes into overtime. Pacers take game 1 in the East, and they will win in 6.
The Pacers are deeper. They're the deeper team. I think they have Neesmith is. I mean, where'd this guy come from? But there's something about just the New York vibe that I'm still feeling.
Okay.
I think that Thibodeau will adjust. I think he'll slow the Pacers' pace down. I think Brunson will stay out of foul trouble. He won't have as many turnovers. I believe he had like 6 or 7 turnovers last game. No, I think the Knicks still win this. I think the Knicks in 6.
That one rhymes, so it's cooler. Pacers in 6. Bump says no, he's not boarding this train. Knicks in 6. I'll go opposite. Ian.
Yeah, I've got it. I think the Knicks, I said it before, I think the Knicks are going to run themselves into the ground. I think the Pacers are a deeper team. I like their bench a lot more, so I'm going with the Pacers.
Okay, Matt, expert on the NBA.
Yeah, so look, I'm not like the biggest sports person. Ironic,
That's
I know.
what we love about you.
I had to make a confession earlier today in the sports pit. The last NBA game I watched was a Sonics game in their final season
You know
here
why?
in
Because you're
Seattle.
that much of a fan. You said I
Exactly.
refuse to watch anything until the Sonics are back.
Sonics for life. And so I truly don't know. I'll say, sure, why not?
Okay.
Good for them. They can do it. Or don't. I don't care.
Matt, how many games is the series?
7, and I know that because I asked Ian when I was writing this hype train question.
Matt's like, it's an 8-game series, man. Anyone can get it.
I love that you lean into it and you're just like, I don't even care. And what? No, but it's also because, like Matt, the NBA isn't my strong suit, and I kind of lean into what people I listen to feel. And I feel like the thing I keep hearing is the best team with that OKC is the best team remaining in theory, and the best team with a shot to beat OKC would be New York. So I've just kind of been buying into that idea. Maybe it's because of the
I think it's
superstar
wide
power.
open. I think it's wide open.
And I like that. Next up. Back to the Mariners for this one. Cal Raleigh currently tied for second with 16 home runs in the American League. He hits a home run to overtake Aaron Judge for most home runs in the American League. So he would have 17, which would be tied for first, but certainly most in the American League. Bump.
Yeah. Listen, I believe in the torpedo bats. I believe in his technology. I believe what it does mentally to Cal. I believe that he is the home run champion of the world. And I believe every time he steps up to the plate, he has the potential to go yard. So yes, he gonna do it.
Okay.
Get her done.
Okay. Cal Raleigh will overtake Aaron Judge for most home runs in the American League with a homer tonight. Currently, both are tied at 16. Obviously, that would give him 17. Matt.
Ever since the Cal Raleigh show started on our station, he's been doing great. So I think he is going to do it.
Okay.
I'm on this train just because, I'm not going against that.
Ian.
I always root for fun. I always root for as many homers as possible. I'm all over this train.
He all over that thing. From cart to cart, sitting in every seat.
Yeah.
He doing it.
Driving
Here's
it.
something really fun, though. Either Stacy is going to board the train and jinx Cal Raleigh, or she's not going to board the train and be the one hater. This is a lose-lose for Stacy. What's she going to do, folks?
I'm not going to board the train.
Interesting tactic.
Reverse jinx.
Reverse jinx. That's how your dumb jinx games work. Next up. Matt. George Kirby will throw a perfect game tonight. Oh, what's that? You all have a chance to be stuck with your own jinxes here. George Kirby will throw a perfect game tonight. Doesn't feel nice either way, does it?
Nah, he ain't throwing no perfect game tonight.
Okay.
Nah, man, this is it's hard to do. When's the last time the Mariners had a pitcher throw a perfect game?
Felix.
It has to be Felix. When was it?
12.
Yeah. It's hard out here in the streets.
Yeah, it is.
To throw a perfect game. George, welcome back. You're going to give up a bomb at the first at-bat because Stacy jinxed you. So that automatically eliminates the no-hitter. We're good.
Let's rework this one. George pitches through 5.
Yeah, he pitches through 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ian.
I'm on that train.
Yeah, I think he's going through 5.
Through 5?
Yeah.
That's good. Matt?
No, I think he's going to throw a perfect game.
Okay.
I'm boarding the original train.
Back to the original.
So the original train.
I'm
Back
sticking
to the
with it.
original train. Okay, sounds good. All right, let's go to the last one here. Now that it's open season on Mariners broadcasters, next hype train, someone will finally knock Aaron Goldsmith down a few pegs. That was from Matt.
No, it was Stacy writes these. I don't know what you're talking about.
Knock him down a few pegs.
Bump.
No.
No, what?
No.
Okay, I already know Matt's answer, so he'll go last. Ian?
I have no idea what Matt's talking about here. I think Goldie is great on the broadcast.
Thank you.
No
I
comment
do
from
as
me.
well. Ian, you, me, and Bumper all in the same boat here. Matt.
Ian, you play that train horn. You play it right now. It's something. Aaron has been needed. Someone needs to do this. He needs to be taken down a few pegs.
Why?
And if no one else is going to do it, I guess it's up to me.
What's he doing?
It's been coming for years, just the way he is and does all of his baseball things.
All his baseball things.
No, done with it. Over it. Knock him down.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
What if the Mariners were fully healthy? They had their full complement of everybody in the rotation. You had Robles, you had Raleigh, Brash from the start of the year, I guess. 2. All of those guys are only worth 2 wins?
They're getting it done in a different kind of way. I mean, yeah, I think everything is worked out for a reason.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
LeeJohnson.com is a dynamic research tool.
We want to give the customer enough information to where they don't have to go anywhere else to research any of the questions they have. And if they want more information, we'd love to be there to help. We don't want them to feel like they're dependent on emailing us or texting us or calling us just to get the information they need. So we put it all out there. We call them digital retailing tools, big fancy calculators where you can get in there and change the terms and change the payments and change the cash down. And it'll give you a disclosure of, hey, when you do this, this means here. And a consumer can get on there and do a lot of this themselves. And then if they choose to get us involved, we can actually get involved on the backside of it and help them along the way. We want to give the consumer the same tools that we have and let them understand what we understand.
Yup, that's pretty much what you'd expect. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey, it's Ryan Roland-Smith for Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. I dropped 30 pounds and honestly, I feel amazing and it has been so easy to keep off. But I didn't want to just lose weight. I wanted to be in the best shape of my life. Look, I'm in way better shape than what I was even when I was playing. I've lost all that visceral fat, which is super crucial long term, and now I'm sleeping better. I've got way more energy, and I'm actually maintaining the results. I'm not guessing anymore when it comes to diet. I finally understand my body. The meals are simple, I'm never hungry, and they fit into my lifestyle. And yeah, now that I've dropped the body fat, I can still enjoy an Aussie meat pie on the weekend, and I'm not stressed about it. After speaking with Dr. Coogan, it all made perfect sense. Yes, it was going to take some discipline, but trust me, the results were well worth it. So if you're ready to take control and feel like your best self, Go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com and book a 15-minute consultation. It changed everything for me, and it can for you too.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, DC. Results may vary.
This is Jill Schlesinger. May is Military Appreciation Month, and I know how much I appreciate the military. I married into a military family. I hear from so many members of the military, and Navy Federal Credit Union wants us to celebrate those who go above and beyond for us every day. If you're active duty, a veteran, or part of a military family, you're eligible to join. At Navy Federal Credit Union, the members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder. The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $2,500 off an energy-efficient Bryant cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's orchard.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's what I need to know. Get your questions in 866-979-3776. What I need to know. Why does Stacy hate George Kirby? I don't. What I need to know. Bump, are the Mariners a bat away from taking the division?
I think they are a couple of healthy arms away. I think if the bats keep doing what they're doing and the arms come back and look like last year somewhat, they're good to go. I'm not desperate for a bat at this point. It could change. There's some time left before the trade deadline, but I want to see what they look like when the arms are healthy and ready to go.
Overall, I agree with you. I think I feel differently about why either is lacking when it is. So right now with the pitching, I just think like, well, they're not healthy, but I have full faith in the pitchers. If the offense was fully healthy, I don't necessarily think they're an elite offense, even though they're putting up really good numbers right now. So I just have less faith in them in general. So in theory, I'd say yes. Like that would philosophically follow that my answer would be yes, then the bat is truly what's missing. But yeah, to your point, they just need to get healthier with the arms, and then maybe I'll feel differently.
Yep.
What I need to know. If a sport already has an international competition that takes place every 4 years or so, like the World Cup or the Baseball World Classic, should that sport still be part of the Olympics?
Say it one more time.
So if a sport already has an event that takes place every 4 years, like the World Cup, should a sport like soccer still be allowed to be part of the Olympics? It's like you already have your version of the Olympics.
Yes.
Okay.
Why? This has been going on forever.
Well,
yes.
And the World Cup kind of matters more.
It does matter more.
Yeah.
But what if you win the World Cup and the Olympics? You really talking, you know what now?
What I need to know. At what age are you no longer allowed to wear your hat backwards?
I can't tell you the last time I left the house with my hat on backwards.
There is an age.
But if I'm wearing a hat and I'm shooting hoops with my sons, I will turn my hat backwards so it doesn't mess with the form.
Fine.
I think once do what you want to do. Wear your hat backwards. I don't care. I ain't wearing mine backwards anymore.
Don't.
I ain't wearing mine. You know what? If I'm on a boat or something, I'm just chilling, I might throw the hat on backwards. You know, if I'm camping or something, if I'm a hat guy, I wear a hat every day of my life. If I'm going to work, I'm riding around, I'm not throwing my hat on backwards. If I'm like on a boat or something, I'm just chilling, I might throw the hat on backwards.
The answer is 23.
It's not 23.
You don't think it's 23?
No, man. There's some dudes, you just got to be able to pull it off.
Okay, 27.
I'll say 30.
30. If you are under 30, you can still wear your hat backwards. If you are over 30, at least not, like, I'm not talking about joking around with your friends, or maybe you move it backwards because you're fixing something with the car or doing some work. I mean, like, you get ready to go out. You look in the mirror, you put the hat on backwards, and you go, the look is perfect.
Well, listen, look, my buddy just texted me. He goes,
what'd he
hat
say?
backwards because I got a big old head. Looks better. It's got to fit you, too.
Okay,
There's
sure,
some
I
old
can
heads
see
I see
that.
out there with a hat backwards. I'm like, all right, I see you. I see you, Unc. Even though I'm Unc as well.
It just reminds me of that video of what's his face, the actor who's always in those like Adam Sandler movies. It's like, hello, fellow kids. Like that's what I think
Steve
of.
Buscemi?
Yes, Steve Buscemi. When someone is anyone watching the studio? Buscemi. If anyone, maybe that was someone else. If anyone of a certain age or older wears it backwards, I just imagine that they're like, hello, fellow kids. What's up, youth? 866-979-3776. What I need to know. How much of this success the Mariners are having is Dan Wilson as skipper compared to Scott, or is it just right place, right time, and this might have happened with Scott this year as well? I find the last part of that question to be the most interesting.
It's never just one thing. It's Polanco playing out of his mind. Cool down a little bit. It's Cal being the best pitcher in the game. It's these young arms coming up and holding it down. Then you throw Dan and all the above into the situation. And like I said, you make Stacy, you just made the best casserole you've ever made in your life. And everyone likes it.
Really?
That's what the Mariners is.
Wow. I think two things are true, and I might just be sports takey with this. I don't think that Scott Service is the reason that this team was missing the playoffs. I think they had an overall talent problem and a problem with building up a competitive offense. I don't know that this team looks exactly like this or plays like this without Dan here. So I think that there's some change. Something has led to what we're seeing. Maybe players like Dan, you know, maybe it's the presence of Edgar or changes behind the scenes with the coaching staff. I don't know. So it's like, I don't think that Scott was like sinking this team. I still feel that he was a bit of a scapegoat. But I also think there's something real here in the change.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, 206 is defending you with their life right now.
Thank you so much.
And 206, as I do appreciate your response, we're just teasing Stacy, okay? Like we're not.
Oh, like they're really
About
defending
the jinx,
me.
like they aren't going, but would you ever base your game plan off of superstition? Of course not.
Well, hang on, would you?
No.
Wait, hang on.
Of course not.
Bump,
Have
are you
you
trying to
ever-
jinx your team?
No, wait, Bump. This
Of
is a
course
real.
not.
This is a real question. Have
What?
you ever made a superstitious-based decision?
No. You know, everything that's superstitious when I'm coaching or playing is before the game. Like, I drop a deuce at the same time. I go eat at the same time. Once the game starts, you play the game. It has nothing to do with how I prepare for the game.
What I need to know, when I was a high schooler, our offensive coordinator was a former starting left guard for the Saints. That's cool. I actually thought I was pretty good at football and thought I was pretty fast running around a 4.6 or 4.7 40 time. One day after school, we played flag football, just messing around. And being the young, dumb kid I was, I mouth off all the silly, dumb lineman jokes. I'll cover you, blah, 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 blah. I remember that coach ran past me like I was standing in quicksand. He was easily 50 yards ahead of me before I moved as soon as the ball was snapped. It makes me wonder, this is the question, what exactly would an NFL wide receiver or defensive back have done to me if an offensive lineman did that? I guess my question is, Bump, when you got to the NFL, did you notice a significant difference in speed from the very top to the very bottom of the lineup?
Yeah, for sure. You get into the NFL, everything's happening. I remember this is how I knew it was real. I was running a seam, and that's like when you're in the slot, say you're running up the hash. And typically, no linebacker was running with me in college.
Yeah.
I was in the NFL, and he was a bit closer than I was used to him being. I'm like, huh? Why? What you doing right there?
How'd you get here?
What you doing? Yeah, it's crazy.
Coming out of nowhere. Let's see if we can do one more. Everyone's just saying whether or not they wear their show.
You got to be able to rock it. It's all a vibe.
It's a vibe. First of all, always do whatever you want, and the best thing anyone can do is be authentic. Like in terms of like people will like you more, whatever. Just be authentic, and if that's who you are, do it. Personally, I think it's a very young look.
Hey,
you know?
There's gonna be a 40-something-year-old fella with his hat back. You're gonna look at him and say, "I see you."
It is
Unc.
the equivalent
I
of
see
like
you.
super crop tops or like.
No,
young,
it's not.
I think so. Yes.
Super crop tops, you're showing skin and stuff. That's different.
But it's a youthful look. It's youthful.
I don't know.
If you're 45 walking around with your hat backwards, I'll say it to your face.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will. Well, no, I would say it politely.
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
I don't know.
You acting like these texters who be talking all that stuff on these lines, right? What? I'll say it to your
If
face.
a 45-year-old walked up and said, should I not be wearing my hat backwards? Yeah, you're right. I'd probably do what you want. Be yourself.
Live your life.
And then privately, I would be texting and being like, oh my God, this guy should not be wearing his hat backwards. I need to stop. I need to walk away. Wyman and Bob are coming up next.
Kirby looks in, has a sign from Raleigh.
He's back.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike three. Strikeout number 7 for George Kirby.
Just in time as the first place Mariners start a 3-game set in Houston against an Astros team right on their heels.
Swing and a miss. He is dealing time.
Hear George Kirby's season debut tonight. First pitch at 5:10 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and great news this August. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yes, the hotel is finally opening. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience at snocasino.com. Breathtaking views of the Cascades in Snoqualmie Valley, an expanded non-smoking gaming floor, awesome destination spa, a 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yes, new food venues, restaurants as well. You can book at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
We at Three Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. Three Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Swing and a miss. Strike three. That is strikeout number 7 for Brian Wu.
Home. Home is where you get to cook things up just the way you like.
Swing and a miss.
Where you're never afraid to get in the kitchen.
He got him a huge strikeout from Logan Gilbert. It's 7th tonight.
Where you serve, carve, put some extra mustard on it.
There's the fist pump by Luis Castillo. Strikeout number 10 on the night.
And get a little spicy.
Set a heater at 100. Back-to-back strikeouts for Andres Munoz.
Now you're cooking with gas. Mariners baseball at T-Mobile Park. Welcome home.
The next Mariners homestand gets started with a 3-day Randy Arozarena bobblehead giveaway against the Nationals May 27th through 29th. All 3 games are Mariners value games, which means you can score seats for as little as $11. Go to mariners.com/value games to lock in your tickets today.
John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We're a family-run small business that provides junk hauling, donations, and recycling. We'll give you an exact price before we start the job and get it done with a smile. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call